emergency response peptide. Why is that? Well, it activates stem cells to fix the stuff that just happened, but it also activates rapid growth of capillaries into the damaged tissue to bring oxygen and nutrients back in. Forgot. Energy, vitality, mental clarity. That's what a lot of people notice, my happiness factor and my mental focus. Sports performance, I had the opportunity of interviewing Antoine Randall L. about a month ago. He's a Super Bowl winner. He's one of the assistant coaches for the Chicago Bears. And he told the story of how, you know, people who get recruited and drafted into the NFL, if they can't keep practicing, they don't play. And they get cut. You're out. You can't play. So he described how he keeps them playing because of the rapid wound healing, you know, tendonitis, the whatever it is, and rapid healing, and then pain relief as well. Improved skin appearance, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. I mentioned that. I won't go over that. Chicago Bears, he's one of the coaches. The this is the world's strongest man right here. Not current, but 2 years ago. Players all over the world are using these patches for sports information. That was me before. I just got back my my biological age 2 weeks ago. You know, you send your blood test, stool test, blood test, saliva test, and they came back, you're 71, but your biological age is 58. I'm going, yeah, I'm actually younger than my wife now, because she's 10 years younger. But hers is coming back soon. She did hers a couple of weeks after mine. My hair started turning from back to front. I mean, it's still got some gray, but I don't care. But a friend of mine said, do you realize your hair's turning back to brown? I said, no, it's not. She said, bend over. I'll take a picture of it. This, you want to go back to this guy? Okay, I'm hoping I can. This is actually Jana's husband who works here. And his spine was crushed, 4 segments, 4 years ago in an ATV accident. He had 4 spinal segments fused, and he had a deep ache right there for 4 years. See if this will play. Oh, no sound.
John, that's about 1 minute left.
Okay. So anyway, right there he's crying. Because in 15 seconds it was gone. I'm going the wrong direction. It won't advance like that. Oh, there we go. I put this slide in here. You want me to do it in Glenda's voice?
Yes. Yes. Yes, please.
You've always had the power, my dear. You just have to learn it for yourself.
This is what we tell everybody, get patched, go share the light. So we are actually doing testing on 2 of our different patches. One of them is called Ice Wave. It can knock pain out in as little as 10 seconds. The X39 is more of a long-term regeneration and repair, activating your own stem cells. Some people, like Rob, have immediate effect. My benefit took place over a 2-year period. Anybody know what a right bundle branch block is in the heart? Right bundle branch block? Mine went away, and 2 different doctors have said, we've never seen one of those go away. How did you do that? And so I'm no longer plagued with that. We're doing testing on, if you're in pain, come down and we'll make it go away for you. Sometimes 10 seconds. We're also doing some demonstrations on the energy enhancer. You've been great, thank you. I appreciate your attention. Come down and see us. That's my former staff screaming.
Incredible. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Dr. Harmon fans here. Super fans.
Super fans.
Yeah. They worked me all those years and they still like me.
While we get set up here for our next speaker, Natalie Parker, I will go ahead and give a little bio on her. Once we're ready. Natalie has a BS in health promotion from BYU. She has worked as a certified professional trainer, fitness manager, and spent 6+ years as a clinical specialist for Medtronic's Cardiac Rhythm and Disease Management Division, supporting patients with pacemakers and implantable defibrillators, ICDs, during and after surgery. She is the most recently certified as a transformational health coach, which focuses on healing the body naturally, mentally, and spiritually. She is also a certified stress, anxiety, and self-regulation clinician for HeartMath. Natalie's career has been devoted to assisting people to achieve wellness with a particular emphasis on heart health. At the Carlfield Center, she uses newly enhanced wellness technology called the Heart Sound Recorder to analyze the rate, rhythm, and tone of the heart to identify nutrient deficiencies. So please give a hand and welcome Natalie Hart.
Yeah, Natalie! All right, can you hear me okay? I'm all wired here for sound, all sorts of sound here. Yeah, so as I said, my name is Natalie Hart. No coincidence that my last name is Hart. Oh, am I supposed to stand here? Okay. there's everybody. Yeah, no coincidence. Like I said, I worked for a medical device company, and I would go into surgery when they would implant devices, pacemakers, and defibrillators, and then do the follow-ups at the clinic. And I would go in and say, "Hi, I'm Natalie Hart. I'm here to check your heart," and the old folks would just kind of laugh, and like, "Oh, you married the right person," you know, kind of joking around. But in all honesty, yeah, I kind of. What really set me on this route for healing and wellness was when I started to have some of my own heart issues. I was getting these heart palpitations. I was starting to get just this cramping feeling in my heart. It was hard for me to take deep breaths. Of course, I go into get my EKG and chest X-ray, and everything's normal, right? I'm like, no, everything is not normal. There's something off here, right? So. I just, long story short, ran into this doctor who had a device called the Heart Sound Recorder. And it looked at the heart sounds of my body, and he told me what I was nutritionally lacking. And I found out in this whole process, I wasn't using B vitamins efficiently, I wasn't methylating. I had issues with adrenal fatigue and digestive issues, and all these things just kind of, and then going through a really emotional time in my life, just kind of all kind of came to a head, and I was getting all these symptoms. And so, most doctor visits, the stats are 60 to 80% of primary care visits are stress related, right? But yet only 3% of that population gets the stress management help that they need. And so if we can just move the dial a little bit and learn how to manage the stress in our lives better, learn how to get the nutrients our body needs, we can just continue to make the progress that we need to. So with HeartMath, thanks. We talk about resilience. We want to be resilient beings, right? So when we have stress, we want to have that extra resilience. So HeartMath is used by all sorts of professionals, especially those in really high stress jobs like EMTs and the military, and so they use these techniques to help reset after these really stressful events, but they're great for just anyone that wants to use them. And what I love is that it's backed by science. There's published research that shows and proves that these techniques can help reset our nervous system and help keep us in this state of what we call coherence. So ideally what we want to do is to learn how to strengthen our resilience and increase that our energy levels, be able to think more clearly, diminish all the symptoms of personal and professional stress, like fatigue, sleep disturbance, headaches, all those things that are stress related, right? And even improve reaction times and coordination that they've shown in athletes. So pretty exciting stuff. So if you think of resilience, I want you to think of it as like that we are all batteries, right? Some of us, we wake up in the morning, we have a certain level of of charge in that battery, depending on how we slept, depending on our activities the day before. So we all kind of come preset with these different energy levels. And so we all have different capacities on how we recover from those. So certain things can deplete our system with that. But we are literally energy systems that expend and renew energy all the time. So there's different things that, when we talk about resilience, that play into this. So there's the physical side, so our strength and endurance can affect our resilience. Our mental capacity can affect it. Our emotional outlook, self-regulation, and then even our spirituality, our beliefs, can affect our resilience. And so here's an example of a husband and wife arguing. So the husband was hooked up to a heart rate monitor to see his heart rate. You can see he started at about 60 beats per minute there. Something got under his skin that his wife said. We've all been there, right? And the heart rate is pounding, right? Well, what happens is our heart doesn't always go right back down after the argument to 60 beats per minute. When we get that depletion happening in those chemicals into our system, his heart rate stayed at over 100 beats per minute for a long time afterwards. And so when we're in that state of stress and we have those chemicals in our system, it's better to get on top of it sooner rather than later, so it's not causing these effects of stress on our body. So if we can learn to, if we are continually in this state of depletion, it's harder to get and recover, and it causes burnout and all types of things. So certain depleting emotions like fear, frustration, impatience, anger, these are all toxic to our system. They can do things like these stress hormones, when they're released, can reduce muscle mass, brain cell death, impaired memory, accelerated aging, and more. So we don't want these hormones constantly flooding our system, right? But yet, on the other side, if we have renewing emotions, those create other neurochemicals in our system that can do all sorts of positive things. So when we experience things and attitudes like care, courage, tolerance, appreciation, that can lead to increased longevity, increased resilience to adversity, improved memory, problem solving, intuition, and so forth. So again, it's learning to manage these the energy that we experience throughout the day. So the first step is just becoming self-aware, right? To recognize when our body's in this state. A lot of us live in this state all day long, and so we don't even know the difference between being in a stress state and a not stress state. In fact, sometimes as Americans we pride ourselves, oh, I'm so busy, it's like, it's almost a pride thing that we have all of this going on, right? And so when we can learn to be in a more coherent state, we call it a state of coherence, that's where where the real healing comes. So coherence, when we talk about that, it's an optimal state in which our heart, our mind, and our emotions are all aligned. So you know that feeling when you're in a yoga class, or when you're doing some kind of stress management, whatever you love to do. It, like, the energy's flowing, your brain, everything's working, like ideas are coming to you, right? You're in a state of peace. So this is that state we want to be in more often than not, that really helps physiologically, the immune system, the hormone system, the nervous system, everything is functioning. We're in a healing state and a recharging state. And the heart-brain connection is really interesting. For the longest time we thought that it was our brain, the things that we think. It was always the brain telling the body what to do, right? But we've learned with these studies, there's something actually called the heart brain. And the heart brain actually talks to the brain itself. And so they find that there's actually more signals coming from the heart to the brain telling the body what to do than the other way around, than the brain telling the body what to do. So when we can learn to optimize our heart and get it beating in a rhythm that's coherent, then it affects our whole entire system. So what we do with the heart math system is there's a little biofeedback device that we use. So when you come in, I hook you up to this little device that just goes on your ear, and you get this, measure your pulse. But we see your heart rate variability. So we want our heart to be really flexible and adaptable. We don't want it to be in this just constant, steady state. And so we can measure your heart rate variability. I have a ring too, the Oura ring, that measures it. Some of us have devices or watches that also measure. But and then we learn some of these techniques. There's about 5 techniques that breathing visualization techniques that can help you, enhance your ability to maintain composure during challenges. In fact, right beforehand, I'm doing my exercises before I came on stage here. But it can, help reduce fatigue and exhaustion, improve coordination and intelligence, all the things, right? So I'm going to teach you a quick technique. It'll just take a few seconds. So a lot of people, when they think of coherence and getting to that state, are like, oh, well, stress management, I do yoga, I do whatever, to manage stress. But oftentimes, we can't drop in a down dog when we're driving, or when we're in a business meeting or something where we're really stressed. But there is this quick technique that we can do, so I'll share that with you. If you want to follow along, you can. So if you want to go ahead and you can close your eyes, and you want to just focus all your attention on the area of your heart. And you just want to imagine that your breath is flowing into your heart and out of your heart. So just that simple technique, just really nice, easy breaths, nothing forced. Just breathe in and picture that air coming into your heart and exhaling and the air leaving. And once you get kind of that feeling, the second step and final step is to make a sincere attempt to experience a regenerative feeling. So think about who you appreciate or what you appreciate. Think about who you're grateful for. Something, a place that you love, a person that you care for. And just really try and re-experience that feeling of love, appreciation, gratitude. And when you're finished, you can open your eyes. So that is a really, really quick technique that you can do. You can do that for as long as you want, but it often takes, when I hook people up, just a few minutes to be in that state where they can regenerate those feelings, and you can literally see them go from a state of chaos to a state of coherence with their heart, with the heart-mouth device. So that's the quick steps. I do a lot more when you come in, and other strategies to deal with that. But if you can really just think of this as plugging those energy leaks, so that by the end of the day, you've got a full bin of water, right? You've got all that energy, and you're not depleted by the end of the day. So there's different ways to kind of do that. But if you want more information, I'm downstairs. I have a little booth down there. I can hook you up on this, or I have my heart sound recorder that looks at the nutrition and what you might be nutritionally lacking as well. So thank you.
Natalie, thank you so much. Wonderful information. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. We just have one more speaker before we take a little break, and we'd like to welcome up Dr. Brian.
Dr. Brian and I conspired, and I was going to introduce him in my speech. He's talking about the microbiome, and we planned to, I was going to introduce him and say, I appreciate Dr. Pogue, but he's going to feed you a bunch of crap about the microbiome. So Nikki gave me permission to come up.
Oh, you're good, do it. Awesome. Well, here, let me read a quick bio to introduce you real quick. Brian trained in molecular biology, double board certified in broad range family medicine and clinical lipidology. Dr. Pogue practiced over 25 years in high-level clinic research and mitochondrial focused primarily care before directing QC Kinetic launch into stem cell technologies and regenerative medicine. Dr. Pogue launched new ultrasound technologies, new laser technologies, and new stem cell technologies in the Boise market. And while serving as an integrative medicine director, he also launched new ozone technologies with AAOT certifications. New aesthetic technologies with special trainings and certifications. He honored a keen interest in advancing arts of medicine, pharma medicine, and its functional integrations. As a lifelong partner, lifelong learner, Dr. Pogue's current focus is on regenerative care in the human mind and body and its deeper design and roots in the how is it?
The holobiont.
Holobiont, that's it. Functional humanity. His passion is the translation of the rapid emergence of new scientific principles in biotic medicine and into the clinic and to the classrooms of future healthcare reimagined. So please welcome Dr. Brian Pogue. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Where are you, John?
He's not back there.
So graceful in his older age, isn't he? Welcome, everybody. I just want to listen for a minute. I was in this room last night, and I want to thank Dr. Dana and her compatriots who gave us something really special. I went home and threw out all my slides and started over this morning. So you're going to get what you're going to get. As we listen, though, would you just look? Those of you that can see, great. If you can't see it, I want you to tell me, or I want you to just think, what do you see there? Are those lines? Is that a box? Is it a cube? Actually, it's not any of those things. It's just a bunch of pixels intelligently arranged on a page. And your brain does the work. Okay? I threw this slide in to remind me to tell you of the moment last night. I was taken there, and there's a story to this picture that we may have time I can tell you, or I'll tell anyone later. This is sitting on the top of, it's sitting on the side of Mount Haleakala on Maui, where Nikki is leaving for in the morning, if you can believe that. And right over here, on the tip of the nose, if you look at the island of Maui from the air, on the tip of the woman's nose is a place called Camp Alawalu. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. How many of you can see the next part of this, that there are two different ways of seeing this cube? If you can see it as a cube in your mind, you can see it with one face forward or a different face forward. And you can switch back and forth as fast as you want, but you cannot hold both of them at the same time. You have to choose. There's so much science and so much that I was going to talk about here, but where did all the stories go? We're going to tell a few of them. World War I. If you look closely, you can see these healthcare workers dutifully following the first time that the U.S. government ever told healthcare workers they needed to wear masks. But if you look really close, you can see that their noses are all out. I got kicked off of a flight for doing that in Seattle. I don't recommend it if this ever comes back around again, just for that reason. Very annoying. But this is what we know now. They did not know that then. There are actually, there's a healthy profile, and there is an infected profile. And if we could figure out, and we are getting close, how to test for that, we can do it now for thousands and thousands of dollars, but hospitals are not going to pay for that. We'll still be operating in the dark ages for a while. But this is what's coming. Those of you that can read the letter from that Red Cross nurse in the Oregon ranchlands not far from here. This is from 1918. She says, our patients are sheep herders who live in miserable cabins, inaccessible places, no food, no bedding, absolutely no conception of the first principles of hygiene and sanitation. I have taken over the hotel as a hospital, and the big boss who employs the sheep herders has ordered the ill who can be moved brought in here. Our greatest need is fruit and malted milk. Feeding cups and drinking tubes, cotton and gauze for pneumonia jackets, and rubber sheeting. That's what they had. That's what they did. I wonder if the survival rate went up for those patients that were brought into the hospital or not. It's still an open question, because really the answer lies in this. First thoughts, did they have the right bugs? And now we know that's not even the question. Did they have the right gene products coming out of this? Okay. The right guilds, and we'll talk about that in a minute. These are nations of your microbes, of many different kinds and types and colors and races and creeds, but they all work together. They managed to create little companies of builders and companies of farmers and companies of healers, and they get the job done. They have a cooperative society, and this is in the healthy individual. And they build the right stuff. They have the right balance, and there's coherence. It's a key word for this conference. What about the sick people? What about the influenza patients? Well, wrong bugs, wrong gene products. They have the wrong guilds. They have lack of cooperation. We call it dysbiosis. And there's incoherence. But if I flick back and forth between this, let's see if this works. Watch what happens. There's very little change. And the difference is life and death. How do we measure that? How do we get a hold of that information? Because that's what matters. All the rest of it pales. And so that information I was just showing you came out of a last year's article. This is brand new, fresh stuff. The physicians, hospitals are still trying to get their mind around this. Say, really? Wow. What do we do? Where do we spend our money? What should we be doing now during this flu season when we're not being immunized? And I'm not. Huh. I put this slide in here to remind me, back in the 1970s, I was a sound therapist in South Philly. And that's another thing that was brought back to me last night. But here's my grandmother, the young woman, and the older woman is her mother, my great-grandmother. They did not die in the influenza epidemic. And my grandmother met this man who was tucked away deep in the Ozarks and practiced for 60-some years in the same little town where I was born. He delivered me, actually. And the year that he was born, the first Merck manual was published. Merck was is a company that started in a small pharmacy in the backwoods of Germany and eventually became the first to figure out how to produce morphine and sell it to the German government and launch with World War II coming and World War I and World War II. The story goes on. But this book had a huge influence on my grandfather's life. He had an original copy of it in his library when he died. He died from influenza, and that was my second year of medical school in the early 80s. When I received my copy of the Merck manual, graduated from medical school, it was a free gift. It had grown from 150 pages in the original to 3,500 pages, I think. And all of it geared towards drugs, not bugs. We just didn't know. So you choose your paradigm, you get the choice. In the news today, this is literally yesterday's paper. Research came up that says the first people in America reached by boat, not the Bering Land Bridge. And I looked at that and passed by it, and then I went back and thought, wait a minute. What about millions of years and thousands of years and oceans that have to go down and we have to walk across on ice and dirt? No, these people were shipbuilders from the get-go. Well, where did they get that? 60% of Americans still believe that Noah's Ark was a fact, not a fairy tale. So that would make perfect sense. The 8 people that got off of that boat, they knew what to do. Chew on that a little bit, and I'll tell you that I'm not a biohacker, I'm a biobacker. I've turned around now and I'm looking back to where we came from and trying to piece together what was the original, how was it made, what have we lost, and how do we get back there regeneratively. I've had a long career, 40-some years, and it's been ups and downs and in and outs, but always trying to chase that wave like my buddy does up and down the South American coast, the El Dorado, and find what can we do really about the causes of almost all human disease. This slide just reminds me that even our inner soil, the thing that we all depend on and we so often forget, that inner soil once was made perfect and now fails us so often. So while you're chewing on that, let me show you what kind of experiments I really love doing now. In an old, give that away. In an old acacia wood bowl, cheap, couple bucks at Goodwill. I don't know the history of this bowl, but I like it. In went 400 grams of ancient grains, okay? Stone ground, whole wheat, dark rye. In a 2-step ferment, 300 grams of acidified water went in for the soak, okay? That's a pre-treatment. Where did I get that acidification? Well, from a Turkish kefir that came from Anatolia, and I have only 2 minutes. Brief hand mix, you get a shaggy dough. And then here's the best part. Just forget about it. Put your bugs to work. Go off and do the next thing. Throw a little flour and water in the San Francisco starter jar. Okay? The acacia wood, beautiful. This is what you came to hear, right? All about the microbiome, the fibers, the phenolics, the functionals, the ferments, the future. No, you just want to know what's happening in that acacia bowl. And it's more fun, because what's happening in there, the organic flowers, they bring their own biotics. They pull those out of the field. They go into the harvester. They get ground up with everything, and all you do is throw a little acidified water. And acidification really makes a difference. Not just plain water, not the French autolyse. Throw a little acid in there, okay? And you get this accelerated biotransformation, okay? Yes, sourdoughs make Scoobies. That's not just, it's the same thing that happens in kombuchas, okay? And then you bake it in a 50-cent stainless steel Dutch that came from Goodwill. Spray a little water, get some steam going in there, slam the lid, and I forgot the timer. This was on Wednesday or Thursday, I think. But that's okay, because all you do is temp it and watch for it to get brown. And while that cools, and I literally have that loaf with me today, but while that cools, let me give you a few of the cool things here. The genomics of guilds, this is where we're headed to. Guilds are those cooperative communities that actually bring health to the body. And guilds can be the discooperative communities that kill, and kill within a specified time frame. They can literally, this was a last year's paper, or maybe it was this fall. They can literally do the testing. It's very expensive, but they can identify that you have a guild that says you're going to die from colon cancer within 24 months. Boom. News you might want to have. That's what's coming. We're beyond culture and sensitivity, which is what I was trained in as a young doctor. We're beyond taxonomy, which is just speciation of, oh, you got Bacteroides, you got Firmicutes, you got this, you got that, and a little bit more than that, and what are we going to do about it? I don't know, eat some sourdough, right? We're doing sequencing stuff. We're gone from old school to next generation to third generation. It's incredibly complex stuff now being done at a reasonable cost, okay? Here's some cool applications of this. Love Biotics. It's the opposite of mouthwash. It's probiotic toothpaste. You're putting the bugs in your mouth. Okay, we do that every time you eat a sandwich. But these are rinses and lozenges when my puppy eats kefir, okay? Best kisses of all. Here's Inagia. These are human milk oligosaccharides. All you pro athletes that in this room, this is a hot, hot topic. This particular company is doing it really, really well. They got awards for this with the particular oligosaccharides. And they put pomegranate, which I misspelled, in there for the ellagic acids, and they get a really cool product. But, is Michael here? Yeah?
No.
Oh, he's coming.
Yeah.
Okay, because this is available only in Denmark, and you've got to fight your way across Greenland to get there now. Unless we got a hookup, like Michael, who's got all these European contacts. He may get us some of this stuff. But don't worry, because there's a photosynthetic version that they're working on. Bill Gates is funding it because cow milk is unsustainable. Okay? Don't tell that to Chobani. Synergy, sourdough-inspired engineering of recombinant gut beneficial bacteria and yeast. Synergy. They've created this artificial SCOBY, this little monster that they can then insert genes into that have all the communications tools to send back news from the front line. What's wrong? What do we do? We push a button and send a signal back, and it releases stuff, the right smart bomb in the right place for the right stuff. It's really cool, and it's coming.
Brian, we'll have to, we're getting ready to summarize that.
Fecal transfers, $20,000 for your C. diff. You can do this in your garage. This article, fecal transfer in traditional Chinese medicine are recommended for acute influenza. Why? Because it works. And this was just last year. And my favorite bug of all, Lactobacillus, although they've already changed the name because it's been retaxonified. Lactobacillus rotiri. You got to get to know this bug, but we don't have time to talk about it. So our take-homes, there are all kinds of functional foods, and almost all of them are biotransformed somehow. It's what's going to happen. It's cheap. It's easy. We can do this at home. There are ways to learn this stuff. Okay? Detox. For those of you that do detox, be very, 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 very careful, because what you ignore can hurt you. I had my appendix out because I asked for it during a surgical procedure in midlife, and then I read a year or two ago when they started publishing the data that colon cancer risk goes up dramatically if you remove your appendix. And my father, the physician, died of colon cancer. But there's good news. I also have diverticuli, which most of us as physicians used to hate. But it replaces the little pouch that the appendix was designed to be for you to store all of the seeds of what you need to regenerate your colon microbiome after a major illness, after influenza, after a colon prep, which you should never do. Okay? Just be careful. Kudos to Nikki. Go in peace, wherever she is. Michael, how are you? And if there's questions, I'll be available. I have that beautiful little loaf to break with anybody who chooses to do so today. I'll leave you with, it's not going to play, is it? Okay. And we haven't any time for the bonus slide. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Dr. Brian Poe. We appreciate it. We are going to go ahead and get prep for our next speaker. There's the loaf.
The loaf.
I think we can pass it around.
That's fine.
So
And you
should
don't
we
need
get
to
too
wash your
late?
hands. There's literally a living bunch of protectors all on the crust of this thing.
So Dr. Pogue and I were talking, he
This
was
is
talking
old
about
school.
passing bread around, and I go, do you realize what you're doing? Like, we're breaking bread as a tribe together,
Yeah.
which really is symbolism coming out to the community, so.
Is this on? Yes, it is.
Yes.
Gotta get the microphone.
It is. I have a whole pocket full of goodies.
So I'll pass this around, and we'll get started with our next speaker. Thank you, Dr. Pogue. Round of applause.
Very excited to introduce the next speaker. Host of the venue today at the Karlfeld Center, Dr. Michael Karlfeld. Quick bio about Dr. Karlfeld. Dr. Michael Karlfeld, ND, PhD, is a naturopath doctor with nearly 40 years of clinical experience and the founder of the Karlfeld Center in Boise, Idaho. He specializes in the mitochondrial activation, metabolic and hormone optimization, biomodulation, peptide therapy, and advanced integrative strategies in longevity and complex health conditions. Dr. Karlfeld is the author of A Better Way to Treat Cancer, host of multiple international recognized health podcasts, and a sought-after speaker in the biohacking and integrative medicine space. So please give a warm welcome and a round of applause for Dr. Karlfeld.
And also a big thank you. This is Dr. Karlfeld's space, if the name didn't go with it. So I just want to say a little extra gratitude for Dr. Karlfeld. One more round.
Do you need this one?
No, we do.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah, that'd be great. Well, this is really cool to have this at the Karlfeld Center. It was really fun kind of walking around and seeing all the vendors and seeing all the cool people. I guess I didn't do anything, so whatever you want to do. I didn't touch it. Got it all going? Okay. Awesome. We got it?
I promise you're about here.
We found it? Okay.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah, usually I don't let men play around with things in my pocket. But well, so since we have a short period of time, I'm going to get right to it. And this is probably about a day's worth of lecture in 10 minutes. So let's have fun. So we're going to be talking about the mitochondria. You know, mitochondria is such a huge deal in regard to health in any which way. So and we talk about longevity, health span, brain span, lifespan, all of these things, they are all dependent on your ability to produce energy. And so mitochondria is that tool. So here, longevity isn't about living longer, it's about how long your cells can produce energy, adapt, and repair. And obviously we don't see immediately that, oh, I felt like my energy is gone today. It's kind of a slow decline if we're not supporting our mitochondria appropriately. So we don't age, we actually run out of cellular power. That is what aging truly is. So the whole idea, we are essentially battery, and we got to recharge that battery. And if we don't do, then the cellular functions are not going to take place appropriately. So, running out of cellular battery, declining mitochondrial output, loss of health span, loss of brain span, and essentially, who here wants to live longer without brain span? I mean, is there anyone here without? I want to live to 120, but I don't know who I am and I don't know where I'm at. Is that no? So essentially, we want it all. We want to have brain functioning, we want our body to be functioning, and we want to be doing it for a long period of time. So that's what happens. So energy failure is at a cellular level. So essentially our bodies, if we look, this is like a house, and each building block is our cells. And if they're not functioning appropriately, then the rest of the building is not going to function very well. We're as strong as our weakest link. And so we need to consider our whole being rather than just different components. So mitochondria then becomes a bottleneck, essentially, on how well we're going to do. So with the mitochondria, if it's not functioning well, we have that reduced ATP production. ATP is our energy currency. We also will have more oxidative stress than we can repair. So what happens in the cell is that every metabolic function, every function in the body, triggers oxidative substances. And those oxidative substances, they do play a role. They help to trigger a little bit kind of that acute inflammatory that drives an immune cells and everything to that location to help to repair. But if that becomes excessive, then that tissue starts to break down. And so that's when we need to then bring in more of the kind of the antioxidant type of substances, and then also we need to support the mitochondria to be able to balance that oxidative stress. I have a lot of patients coming here with some severe chronic illnesses like Lyme and cancer, and so that's when it's kind of gone far in the process. And so obviously you're not just well and then all of a sudden you have cancer. It's a process, and to be able to support the body through that process becomes key, and that is truly preventative medicine. And the mitochondria does a lot of things. I mean, in addition to, we think of energy production, but it also, a lot of the signaling that takes place in the cell, and also the genetic repair that needs to take place. So for instance, if somebody's dealing with cancer, we know that by supporting the mitochondria, we can then either turn that cell into a healthy cell, because the mitochondria actually will support the repair of your DNA, or if the cell is just so dysfunctional, it will then actually trigger that flip, that triggers apoptosis. So it's actually the mitochondria that controls all of that. So if you want to have the best cancer prevention or best prevention of any kind of disease, you want to make sure you optimize the mitochondrial activity. And one thing that is important is that all of us know hormones. We all need hormones. We feel as we get older as men, lower testosterone. We feel a bit achy. We don't repair as well. Cognitively, we're not where we want to be. So we know that hormones play a huge role, and the same for females. In regards to estrogen, it's a key hormone. And a lot of people, there's a lot of fear out there in regards to estrogen, because you think, well, I don't want to get this cancer or that cancer. But estrogen is actually a modulator. So it doesn't just kind of help to kind of upregulate cellular function, it can also downregulate. So it's not that the estrogen is either friend or foe, it's actually a modulator. And to control that, effectively becomes really important. And we don't want hormones just in range, we want them optimized. We don't want to have a car that can just drive 30 miles an hour. We want to have a car that's able to get out on the freeway and respond in the way that we want it to be. We want to be able to survive on Autobahn and be able to kind of battle with the cars over there. So again, most people aren't dying from disease, they're actually dying from inefficient energy. Because when the cells aren't able to repair, then they break down. And if we have more breakdown of cells, then we have cells that are regenerating, then you're moving in the wrong direction. So we want to optimize that program. And it doesn't matter if you are 20, 30, 80, it is the same process that we want to support. And like dementia, for instance, it starts 30 years before you see signs of it. So that means you should not wait until you become symptomatic. You need to do something now. Now's the time to prevent. It's a whole lot harder to deal with it when you're at the end of that process or when you start to notice symptoms. So, people, I have Olympic athletes that are coming and they've been healthy all their life, and then all of a sudden, here they are, pancreatic cancer, or they deal with, some neurodegenerative disease and they're not functioning. And so, yes, you may feel like you're in a athletic specimen, but these processes can take place anyway. And so it doesn't matter how well you feel, these are things that you should lean on. And this is the best insurance that you can ever get. So here's just some tools. Like one thing that I love is photobiomodulation. And it's using light essentially to turn on cellular function. I mean, most of us are light deficient. We are in buildings like this, all day long. And our mitochondria, our cellular energy, is actually dependent on light. It's fascinating. You see the mitochondria, the electron chain, transport chain. They have like these different kind of bus stops, and each bus stop it requires actually certain energy of light in order to be able to drive that energy through the mitochondria. And so you have like blue and ultraviolet, it's kind of that first bus stop, and then you move on to the next ones, that more kind of the green and the yellow, and then you get to more the orange and then the red, which is the last kind of bus stop. And so without light, we have a hard time to drive an energy through that mitochondria. So by utilizing these kind of tools, like here trifecta is a kind of a very strong red and infrared bed that we have. And in fact, I think in the goodie bag, everyone that's attending, you get to try it once for free. So kind of take a look for that. This is a $175 value, just kind of trying it for free. So it's really, really cool when you bring in these kind of tools. And here's another things that we have is that we can actually then introduce optic needles into the blood, and you can treat the blood as it's passing by. And you can utilize them these different colors, and each color has a different effect on the body. We talked about the mitochondria, but you also have like the blue color. When you have that, it actually increases nitric oxide, and it actually increases the length of your telomeres. And so you have all these different effects then from these different colors, and they get actually transported by the different substances in the blood and actually deposited into your cells and impacting your mitochondria and impact mitochondrial activity. So using that is phenomenal. And in fact, this technology essentially came out of Russia. And what they wanted to do is to have their athletes and their soldiers to be able to be super soldiers. And so this is where the technology essentially started, and they saw that by utilizing these kind of technologies, they were able to increase their ability to function by like 30%. And that's huge. I mean, can you imagine if you have two Olympic athletes, both of them running a 100 meter dash, and one is just 30% faster? That's a big deal. So light, I love light. So, and then we have other tools that we can bring in. I mean, we do a lot of intravenous therapies. You know, we have like, you know, ozone is phenomenal. That actually, ozone helps to clear out old mitochondria and also create these kind of giant mitochondria. So these super mitochondria also help to regenerate the old ones as well. So ozone is just a phenomenal tool. Obviously, there are a number of ways that you can do it. You can do, we do it intravenous, but you can also do it rectally. You can do it, you know, through the ears. There's several different ways that you can apply ozone. One of the fun tools that we have is called EBU or RHP, and that's essentially when you pull blood from one arm, it goes through a machine that gets filtered and then adds ozone and then goes into the other arm. So with that, in one sitting, you can ozonate, you know, like almost 4 liters of your blood volume, which is phenomenal. And you can see some of the nasty stuff that's coming out of bodies. NAD, you know, IV tends to be a little bit better than doing oral, yeah, because the absorption a lot of times orally is not that great. So NAD is phenomenal in turning on then that energy production. And glutathione it helps them to protect for that kind of oxidative stress that we talked about in the cell to protect the mitochondria. But one thing that a lot of people forget is that each cell and each mitochondria, they have cell wall membranes. And that cell wall membrane is key for the health of that cell. You know, it's kind of like trying to carry groceries with a bag that's all wet, and you know what happens. I mean, groceries just fall all over the place. And so that container, it becomes huge. So phosphatidylcholine, you know, which you also do here intravenously, you can do that orally as well. But obviously, if you do it intravenously, you get it directly into the cells. So these are just some kind of IVs that we utilize, and obviously there are a bunch of other things as well to really optimize mitochondrial activity. And then we have peptides. You know, like this is just an example of peptides. So peptides are essentially a kind of a shorter protein chain, and what they do, there are about 7,000 of them. Different peptides, and they help to correct signaling in the body. You know, so essentially they kind of support healthy cellular function rather than trying to push them in one direction like a lot of pharmaceuticals do. MOTC is one that is phenomenal in regards to, you know, turning on mitochondria as one of the peptides. You know, also one of the things that we do here. And then, yeah, we talked about the key about optimization versus being in range. So you can see kind of the difference between being in range and optimized. You know, so optimized, then you improve mitochondrial density, enhance fuel utilization, nerve protection, recover and repair. You know, cells that aren't recovering and repairing, they die, or they become cancerous. You know, so. And one big thing, we all know about the GLPs, you know, GLP-1, GLP-2, GLP-3. So I thought I'd just kind of give you an understanding a little bit about, you know, the difference and how that technology is evolving. And so we see the newest version, you know, retatrutide, you know, which we do here in addition to tirzepatide. And again, this is not a crutch. You know, this is something that can support the body to move in the direction they need to move. As you see, you know, with the GLP-3 is essentially 3 components. You know, so they're able to modulate a lot of the insulin activity and energy production and fat oxidation, you know, much more tightly, rather than the GLP-1, which had a lot of digestive issues. But obviously, again, it's not a crutch. It is just to help you to move into that next step. So this is kind of a longevity stack, you know, so. And yeah, we do all of these here at the center. Light therapy, you know, things like trifecta, Weber laser, then doing different IV therapies, you know, NAD, glutathione, you know, phosphatidylcholine, ozone, hormone optimization, peptide therapy, and then, you know, if needed, like a GLP type of support. So again, longevity isn't about adding years, it's about keeping your cells young enough to use them. When you flip the mitochondrial switch, everything changes. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
heartfelt. And once more, thank you again for letting us use the facility for this space for this Biohacking Vitality event. So one more round of applause for that. Check it out, I don't even need my phone for this next bio. It's going to be super short and powerful. We have Albert Liu who will be speaking, and his bio is Truth Teller. So thank you, Albert Liu, for speaking, and the stage is yours.
Thank you. I recommend you stick around this.
I should stick around?
Yes.
Yeah, this is important.
Yes, sir, yeah.
Good afternoon. How are you guys? How are your brains right now? They flooded yet?
Yes.
All right. So today, raise your hand to tell me who specifically came to hear this specific topic today. Raise your hand. Okay. Who else? Okay. I want to make sure to attribute this to the right people. Okay. So I want to write on the board here. If you have the ability to write this down or log it down somehow, this is the person where it came from. His name is Peter Dobromilski, okay? So this is what's called the Ross hypothesis of obesity. And this is why we're told not to eat seed oils. Everybody heard that so far? Right? Make it healthy, make America healthy again. To not eat seed oils, yes? Has anybody told you why? People say, oh, inflammation, right? Okay. Now, we're going to look at something deeper, okay? How many of you have studied biochemistry at all? Biochemistry. It's just a little bit. That's okay. I'm going to break it down, make it really simple for you guys. So when we eat certain chemicals, right, just like Dr. K said earlier, in our mitochondria, like all our metabolism happens in there. Everybody get that so far? We transform our food energy into the usable energy we need in terms of ATP. Yes? Got it? When we are ingesting certain molecules, certain macronutrients, we're going to call fat and glucose, right? Or fatty acids and glucose. When they're in the mitochondria being processed, being metabolized, we have certain amounts of ROS being produced. So anybody tell me what ROS means? Reactive oxygen species, yes. So what it comes down to is when when we're doing the what's called the Krebs cycle, TCA cycle. The TCA cycle, Krebs cycle, all these electron transporters are produced as a product from there. In this citric acid cycle, or TCA cycle, if you guys want to come up and come closer to see this, I want you guys to do that. Okay. So there's a certain number of byproducts that come out of there. One of them, or two of them, are FADH2 and NADH. Right? These are two electron carriers that come out and that are sent towards the electron transport chain, the ETC that Dr. K mentioned earlier too. In the electron transport chain, that's where the protons are sent through. Those electrons are sent through and protons sent through, and that's what makes ATP in the end. Don't go into details right now. I'm just saying that in these two, they send electrons into the electron transport chain, and ATP is produced. Now, when we eat certain types of fat, then there's differing amounts of FADH2 and NADH. As a result, there's different levels of ROS being produced. Okay? So, if we're eating saturated fat, so everything we're supposed to be eating now, right? What are examples of saturated fat?
Butter.
Butter. What else?
Tallow.
Tallow. What else?
Bacon. Lard.
Yes, all the animal-based fats, yes? animal-based fats, and coconut oil, right? Those ones, if we're eating more saturated fat from those sources, we have this higher ratio of FADH2 to NADH. It's a more FADH2 to NADH. Getting that so far? If that ratio is higher like that, then ROS is higher. Reactive oxygen species is higher. Okay? We'll get to that. There's a certain too high amount, like Dr. K mentioned. We need a certain amount around. Okay? Now, if we're ingesting something like seed oils, like we're supposed to avoid today, right? What are examples of the seed oils? Canola oil, what else? All the ones, all those bad ones, right? If we eat those oils, those fats, this ratio is, what do you think? Inverse, lower, right? Lower FADH2 being produced. So that ratio is lower. As a result, ROS is what then, do you think? Right. Now, I'm going to erase all this. To get to that punchline, I'm going to draw this as a adipocyte, a fat cell, okay? I'm going to have insulin, the hormone, attached to the glucose transporter. Those of you who know chemistry already, biochemistry, you already know this. Insulin attached to that because sugar is around, yes? We ingest sugar, insulin goes up, yes? Okay. This is an external signal to let glucose, right, come into the cell to be used for energy, go to the mitochondria or is metabolized in the cytoplasm, right? Either way, we need another signal for the inside. This is an internal signal. What do you guess the internal signal is now? ROS. ROS that is produced through by the mitochondria, essentially, in those different amounts, contribute to interacting with the glucose transporter to shut it off or not, to keep it open or not. So, if we eat more saturated fat, more ROS is around, it interacts with our glucose transporter and shuts it. So it does not allow anything else to come back in. This helps us feel more full. Eating more of the saturated fat, which you've experienced already, right? You feel fuller from eating that. That's from this ROS being produced as increased levels, which shuts that door, which causes your fat cells to become more temporarily insulin resistant. It's temporary insulin resistance, or local insulin resistance. If we eat seed oils, then this ROS is less around. That means this door is still open, allowing more sugar and fatty acids to come in to be processed for energy. That's why you keep eating. You feel more hungry if you're eating seed oils, because of the lower ROS levels. Understand that so far? Who has heard that before at all, in that way? Okay, this is very novel when in the last couple of years, Peter D is saying this. Now we at MetFix Boise, as a result of an affiliate of MetFix, was affiliate of Broken Science Initiative, we have the answer. We are the only place in the valley in the state saying this. We have the answer to fix people. Those who are fat on the outside, healthy on the inside, right? Those who are thin looking on the inside, or outside, and fat on the inside, or unhealthy on the inside. This solves all that. We prescribe eating meats and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some starch, little fruit, no sugar, and no seed oils. That combination right there provides what's called metabolic flexibility. That metabolic flexibility does this. Okay, we eat those amounts of those foods in those ways, gets us to the mitochondrial health or improved mitochondrial ability. Okay, so we train in a certain way, we move our bodies in a certain way, eat that same way, and we let this happen. Now, who's been on that roller coaster ride of energy throughout the day? Right, that roller coaster ride. That's all from glucose and insulin. If we can keep our levels of eating our fat higher, our saturated fats, right? That insulin level will be lower, so it's more lower in level throughout your day, so you're not on that roller coaster ride. So you don't have to snack as much in between your meals, right? The less you snack on, the less carby snacks you have, the less insulin you have, less body fat you have, because you're consuming your body fat now. That's how we prevent disease. Now, in 1989, his name is Norman Kaplan. I'll erase this now. Who's heard of his name before? Norman Kaplan. Norman Kaplan. Okay. Norman Kaplan, 1989. The Archives of Internal Medicine. He outlined what's called the deadly quartet. Who's heard of the deadly quartet? Okay, 4 of them. Glucose intolerance, hypertension, hypertriglyceridemia, and upper body obesity. Those 4 effects from hyperinsulinemia, too much insulin in the blood, or elevated insulin in the blood. That connection was not made of why obesity happens first and in those 4, essentially. Okay, obesity and all the other chronic diseases. We have the answer now. Because of this ROS, because of the saturated fat, this hypothesis that we're actually proving every single day now, here in the gym. Every single day, every single minute we're spending with someone in that gym I have at Cole Franklin, telling them how to move, telling them how to eat, solve this problem. All right, so those of you who are interested in this, after hearing this answer, I have 2 deals here for you guys to embark on. One deal is this program called MetFix Spark. I have a 5-session or 4-week official program I'm starting on Saturday mornings. That'll start back up on February 21st, Saturday at 10 a.m. It's an hour and a half for 4 of the sessions, and the last session at 9 o'clock on March 7th, I think it is. We're going to graduate you in learning how to eat and move, just an introduction. Any of your patients and clients, if you're providers out there, send them to me. We'll educate them on this over the 5 weeks, and they'll be able to join our group classes after that with this armed knowledge. We'll assess their fitness levels throughout the whole process as well. So you'll be able to join our classes and know how to move. Also, I have a 1-week free deal, 6 total classes from Monday to Saturday you can take. Anybody here in this room can take advantage of this. Anybody, your patients and clients, can take advantage of this. 1 week, I have two sheets up there with 2 barcodes on them. Okay? Come on over with your phones, snap pictures of those, scan them, and sign up. We have the answer. Okay? Roll the gym around concerned about the care and feeding of our mitochondria. We do those 2 things, we avoid chronic diseases for the rest of our lives. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Albert. We
Welcome.
appreciate it.
Welcome.
Very interactive, and we like that.
Sure.
So appreciate it. Yeah. Next, we have up Dr. Von Watts. I'm going to share a quick announcement, though, while we get him mic'd up and set up. We do have the dates set and ready for the next biohacking event. We'll be hosting it June 27th. So put it on your calendar. I do want to share some details about it, but we have been brainstorming some pretty cool ideas. It's going to be a much bigger and outdoor experience as well, just because we're coming around the summer. And so plan on maybe wearing a swimsuit, maybe not. We're going to find out. We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and give a quick bow for Dr. Von Watts before he speaks.
Hey, real quick, Sean, while you're introducing Sean,
Yes.
if anyone wants a drop of peppermint or spearmint, raise your hand. It's going to increase oxygenation, mental focus. We're just going to wake you up a little bit because we're getting into that afternoon. So just raise your hand and Frank,
Absolutely.
give you a little drop. Don't get it in your eyes. Okay, go for it.
Yep. Be careful, like she said. I will repeat that. When you put it in your hands and you're smelling and stuff, try not to touch your eyes. It will burn.
Just breathe it in just like
Just
this.
breathe it in
On your
from a
temples,
distance.
Don't touch your eyes.
Yep, that aroma will diffuse off of your hands. So, okay. From Marine codebreaker to clinician scientist and growth architect, Dr. Von Watts began at the National Security Agency as a U.S. Marine as a codebreaker and collection manager. After the Corps and a successful run at cells, he pivoted to functional medicine, specializing in autoimmune, thyroid, gut dysfunction, metabolic disease, and detoxification. As a doctor of chiropractic, he specialized in detoxification, autoimmunity, thyroid, and gut dysfunction. He is the developer and founder of Foundational Medicine, a precursor framework that prepares the body for a deeper healing. After selling his clinic, Dr. Watts joined Cellcore Biosciences, where he was pivotal in 10xing the company in 3 years, contributing to its private equity exit. He also helped implement foundational medicine at scale, driving the launch of Cellcore's blockbuster foundational protocol, and 6 additional protocols still in use today. Next, as VP of Nutrition Education at doTERRA, He introduced Foundational Wellness, which became the brand's top-selling concept. Today, Dr. Watts is founder and chief science formulation officer at Aegis Formulas, crafting clean, high-absorption nutraceuticals. In 2025, he released his first book, Foundational Wellness, and co-launched The Shift, a women's health podcast with Heidi Swap for women 35 to 60 navigating life's next stages. So give a warm round of applause for Dr. Vaughn Watts. And the stage is yours.
Grab my computer real quick.
Yep.
And turn these on. There we go. That's fine. Sorry. Is this one already on? All right, can you hear me okay in here? Yeah? All right, good. Give 1 second here. We're going to get a clicker. Okay, well, this, I don't even know what's up there. You know what, we'll just go with, I don't really need slides, but I'm going to talk today a little bit just about foundational wellness and a concept that I developed in, actually this is a book I released here this last August, September. It really is a concept of, it really brings health and it makes health simple. It can be very difficult. There's so many influencers online. There's so many people talking about what you should and shouldn't take, and if you listen to all of them, then you couldn't eat anything and you couldn't drink anything and everything is bad. And it's really kind of breaking it down to make it a lot more simple. And so I developed this concept called foundational medicine back in 2016. As a functional medicine doctor, you know, we try to go root cause, and so we run lots of panels. And eventually what I found is I was chasing markers. And some patients were getting better, and others that were very, very similar weren't getting better. And I was like, this doesn't make sense. Even their panels are almost the same. Their symptoms are the same. And with something like Hashimoto's, there's a lot of similarities between these patients. I'm like, why are they not getting better? And so I remember it clear as day. This one day I was sitting at my desk going through a file right before my office was opening up for a patient that was coming in to review her third panel. By then, third panel, they're usually almost on the exit. They're almost done. And as I was going through it and things hadn't shifted the way I had hoped, that's when I just kind of had this aha moment. I'm like, I think I'm doing things wrong. And then as I realized, as a functional medicine doctor trying to be root cause, I'm just watching all these markers and trying to go treat them all. And that's about the equivalent of a farmer walking out to a field and throwing seeds. You just walk out and start throwing seeds. Are you going to get a harvest? Yeah. Is it going to be predictable? No. And so I realized I was missing a key step in this foundational part, which is ensuring that the terrain is ready first before moving into any kind of treatment. Meaning the farmer goes out and gets the field ready, right, before he plants seeds, because then it's a more predictable harvest. And from this, it developed this whole concept of, in my belief system and in this, is all disease is caused by one thing, and that's organ dysfunction. If your organ is not functioning, the human body is a self-healing organism, and it's made to heal itself when in the right condition. The right condition is when our organs are functioning the way God designed them to function. And there's two main things that cause organs to not function properly, and that is nutritional deficiencies, essential vitamins, minerals, nutrients that we need, and toxins. And by toxins, I don't just mean heavy metals and parasites and mold. I also mean emotional toxins, right? And that's when I usually say that. That's when I get people I'd have patients look at me like, oh no, we got a woo-woo doc, emotional toxins, right? And the very first question I'd ask is, well, what happens when you get super stressed out? What happens to your, or what happens? It affects your adrenals, right? Which then in turn affects cortisol levels. So emotional toxins are also what I consider toxic, right? So by addressing these two things, what I found in practice was this. I would spend 4 months working with patients, and I tell them, I'm not touching your Hashimoto's for 4 months. We're not even going to do anything specific to Hashimoto's. We're just going to change your diet, lifestyle, and we're going to ensure that these deficiencies that you have and these toxins are gone, and that your organs are functioning the way they need to. And what I found is that 4 month mark when I'd rerun panels, about 60 to 65% of the markers in the panels completely disappeared, which taught me one thing, I really was chasing red herrings as a functional medicine doctor. I was chasing markers that were completely irrelevant to their actual underlying condition. It was just a byproduct of dysfunction, and just by fixing that, these markers just resolved on their own, which tells me I should have never been paying attention to those ones to begin with, right? And so I just keep it really simple. And so just as I'd like to do a little illustration with that. So if you have for example, an iodine deficiency, and I usually use this because it's a thyroid doc. If you have an iodine deficiency, you cannot make iodine or thyroid hormone. That's just a fact. For those that, anybody in here have thyroid? I mean, probably half the women, maybe, if you raise your hand, okay. It was almost 80% of women at some point will have a thyroid issue. The T3 and T4 hormones, the 3 and the 4 tell you how many iodine molecules are attached. So if you don't have iodine, you can't create thyroid hormone. Just like any other hormone, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, there are essential minerals that are needed in the pathway to even create these things. So what I found, and I was one of those docs, it was like inflammation is the cause of all disease. You know, early on in my career, and then I realized very quickly, no, organ dysfunction is the cause of all disease. And organ dysfunction gone unchecked leads to inflammation. And inflammation gone unchecked leads to chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation gone unchecked leads to a breakdown in the beginning of a disease process. And so, super simple. You know, those two things. I always say, try to help people ensure that you're getting all the essential nutrients that you need, and make sure you're doing an annual detox, because we're exposed to it every single day. Even here in this beautiful, one of the freest states in the country, just look up in the sky every single day in these beautiful blue skies, and it won't be blue very long because we have these chemtrails, we have stuff sprayed on crops. I mean, you're exposed to it regardless of if you eat organic or not, you are exposed to toxins. And so ensuring that you're going through and doing a good detox annually, and making sure that you don't have any vitamin, mineral, or other essential nutrient deficiencies, and you'll see a big difference in your health pretty quickly. So I do have, yeah, oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, yeah, you can keep going through. I forgot I didn't have these up here, but here's some toxins. We'll just kind of pop through here real quick. This is and this is my optimal health concept here is, you know, we have to address diet and lifestyle for sure, right? Remove toxins, and I'm not talking about toxins from your food, I'm talking about the toxins in your home that are in chemicals, removing those toxins from your home, supporting your organ and detox pathways, then moving into detox, because if you try to detox before addressing that, that's when people have those bad symptoms and feel like they have the flu and all sorts of other things. So, and then you go back in, repair pathways, and you can do this annually, you know, in ensuring that you're keeping your body free of those toxins. And so just keep this in mind. It doesn't matter if you buy all your food at Trader Joe's or Whole Foods, you are still eating toxins. You can't avoid it, not in this world anymore, unless you grow it in a greenhouse yourself. You can't avoid it. So hopefully that's informational. Let me see here what else we got. And I just try to keep it real simple when it comes to food and diet, when it comes to the whole concept. Mine's simple. Nutrition 101, eat real food. If it grows on the ground, in the ground, swims or flies, you're good to go. If it comes out of a bottle, package, or can, try to avoid it, right? 80-20 rule. I'm not a purist, and a lot of functional medicine doctors are, and I'm a little controversial for this because even as a thyroid doctor, I was not a big anti-gluten guy because there's more to that story. But for me, it's like, let's do something that everybody can do. If you can make your plate look like what, for those that are from Boise, Chandler's, right? With that $60, $70 plate, your plate looks like that. Usually looks something like this. Half the plate is some kind of vegetable, really good, solid quality fat, protein, and then your healthy carb or starch is a little bit. But if you can just eat real food and do it 80% of the 80-20 rule, right? You don't have to be perfect, but if you can do it at least 80% of the time, you'd be amazed at how much healthier you are and how better you feel just by doing that. And it becomes simple. It's a lot easier to follow. Lifestyle changes, probably one of the biggest ones you can do, and I'll tell you right now, you can do it today and you'll notice the difference tomorrow. And I am a big proponent of this now. I was not before. I used to as a badge of honor as business owner and, you know, surviving on 4 or 5 hours a night of sleep. And that is one of the worst things you can do. You get started, if you start tonight, get 7 to 9 hours of sleep and see how you feel tomorrow. And it's not all sleep is created equal. So not, 1 o'clock in the morning going to bed. We're talking 10, 11 o'clock, going to bed, 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep. And we're talking one day you'll notice a difference, how you feel. And you'd be amazed at all the physiological impacts that affects. We're going to talk about this. This is my book here I've released. And this is a supplement company, actually a Boise-based company. We specialize in functional medicine. We do self-direct to the public and to doctors as well. So if you have any questions, come find me. Happy to talk, and thanks for your time.
Okay, sorry to get that PowerPoint presentation up and
Oh, no, I
like
didn't
halfway
do
through.
it. You're good.
Okay, Tammy Reed. There she is. We're getting her set up. Hi. Let me just thank you, Dr. Von Watts, for that information and for coming to this event and sharing that. Tammy Reed, let me give a little bio about her before we get into it. And I also, real quick, want to thank the people who are virtual, who are tuning in and watching this event. We appreciate you. We hope everything's running smoothly and you're able to hear everything and see it. Okay. Tammy Reed is a Harkin Method practitioner and quantum human design coach guiding curious, growth-oriented individuals, inner explorers, and soulful, intuitive, ready to deepen their self-understanding and move forward with purpose. Whether you're seeking greater personal meaning, navigating evolving relationships, or leading a business that longs to align with its full potential, she supports those who are committed to living and leading with authenticity. She is an Idaho native, a mother of 2 incredible teenage boys, a wife to a man who has lovingly supported her through every stage of her own personal growth, and a guardian to 3 fur babies. She holds degrees in science, coaching, and integrative medicine. Tammy has a private practice in Eagle, Idaho, where she sees clients one-on-one and group coaching. Tammy created the Harkin Method, which she teaches to individuals and other practitioners who desire to understand and listen to the wisdom of the body. Tammy, the stage is yours. Please give a warm welcome for her, and thank you.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I love that I actually went after Dr. Watts because I think this will make sense to a lot of people. I'm going to actually introduce you to 2 systems today. One is human design.
One quick second.
We're going to find that other mic. Somebody walked off. Oh, yeah.
Is it not working?
We don't do 2 mics. It's complicated.
Oh.
It's coming up. Just 1 second. Thank you. I'm also waiting for it.
Probably for the online before maybe.
All right, here we go.
If that worked too.
It's okay, we're on time. And after Tammy, we'll have a 10 to 15-minute break, 20-minute break, where you're good to go check out the vendor booths, stretch your legs, stand up, get some fresh air, and then we'll come back and we'll have more speakers at 3 o'clock.
Make sure you're ready.
Are we working on the slides?
Slides are incoming, yes.
Okay. So human design is a system, and we're taking your date of birth, time of birth, and location, and we're actually measuring the neutrinos that were in the air when you took your first breath, and then 88 days prior to your birth, when your brain first started to form. And so what we're trying to do is measure the light that was coming into the planet when that was happening. So this is what we call your soul curriculum. So what are you designed to experience, and how do your emotions work, how do your brains work? And so when I utilize this in my practice, oh, yes, yes. If we can get the slides up, I can actually show you what a body graph actually looks like, so you can kind of play along and follow along with me. Because it's kind of hard sometimes for people to understand what I'm talking about if you can't actually visually see what we're doing, but that's okay. So the body graph will actually tell you how your energy is designed to interact with other individuals. So when I utilize this in my practice, I can actually see how your brain is designed to work. If you're more logic-brained or more right-brained, I can actually see if you have grapples and possibly are prone to having thyroid issues, how you handle emotions, how you energetically can feel. So a lot of people, when you go through and get your blood work or you're working with doctors and energetically they can't actually see anything on what's being measured, a lot of times it is mental and emotional. And I can actually see those patterns and those grapples within your system that you're fighting with, and we can start to switch the patterns. I like to actually view everything through a pattern. I don't believe that none of us are not whole or healed. We just need to understand what's getting in the way of being in alignment with who we really are. And human design, to me, is a perfect tool for that. The other system that I want to actually talk about is sequencing your DNA. So it's just a swab of the mouth. It's through the DNA company. It was brought to us by a man named Cash Khan, and he's actually sequenced our genetic genome, and so we can actually see what you're predisposed to. I don't like using this on individuals that want to diagnose themselves or use it to scare themselves. This is just for you to be able to hack your own DNA and see what there could be a potential about. So it's super easy, like I said, swab of the mouth, you send it in, and then you get reports. And so what I loved about mine is that, yes, there are vitamins that all of us need, but how am I designed to take them? So for instance, B vitamins, you can either take them underneath your tongue or you can actually take them orally. By me sequencing my DNA, I actually discovered that I was taking my B vitamins wrong. I need them orally. Yeah, that's okay. So this is actually what a human design blueprint looks like. And so when I actually look at this individual's chart, I can actually see what's going to create more vitality inside of her system. And it's actually for her being able to see patterns and using her left brain and being more logical. I can actually tell that she amplifies other people's illnesses. So I would actually have this individual every time that she goes into a store and she walks in feeling great and then walks out with a headache to ask, like, whose is this? Actually, is this mine? She does have what I consider, this is what we call a solar plexus. So individuals who are just energetically sensitive to other people and environments, a lot of time have a lot of openness within their chart. And this is where we breathe in other individuals and process their energy. And so a lot of us are turning up the volume and amplifying an essence, an energy that isn't even ours. And so individuals with an open solar plexus actually amplify other people's emotions. So just think about that. If I walk into an area and I have a defined spleen so that I'm actually really in control, I have a rhythm, I have a wave, but I then get around someone with an open solar plexus, they're actually going to amplify my emotions. So I need to hold myself accountable and be aware of what am I walking into the room with. If I walk in the room with anger, it's like a little level 2, I've got it, it's no big deal, I can transform it. But there's an individual that is unaware that they actually amplify emotions when they walk into a room, they're gonna feel it at a 22. And they're gonna wonder, oh my gosh, what did I do? Is there something wrong? But in reality, it's not even theirs. But they experience it at a higher level and a deeper depth. And so we wanna teach these individuals how to have energy hygiene. So that's what I do a lot in my practice, is teach individuals how to understand their own energetic makeup, understand their own patterns, and hack their own system. There was a man last night, he's like, hey, I don't like these type of things, these personality tests. This is not a personality test. You're understanding your energetic makeup. And this lasts over your entire lifetime. So why wouldn't you want to know yourself? Why wouldn't you want to transcend your own makeup, your own DNA, your own energetic blueprint, which I like to call your fingerprint, because it's actually 1 in 7 million before you're going to find another design like yours. You are very unique. So know yourself. I like this because it helps me in my business, it helps me in my relationships, it helps me parenting my children. And so this to me is so beautiful to know and to utilize. When we go to, this is what the reports you're actually going to get when you sequence your own DNA. And the reason why I really like utilizing them is because they do not store your DNA. If you understand quantum mechanics and entanglement, you do not want anyone storing your DNA. You want it to be incinerated. And so that's what they do. They don't store it, they sequence it, and then they give you these reports. So I actually know how my brain works. I know how I process dopamine, how I process serotonin. I know the exact diet I need. There was so many coaches that were telling me, keto, 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 you need to be keto. I went on it, I started having heart palpitations. Going into VTAC, I'm like, okay, my body is giving me signals. They're like, no, you just need to get through it, it's just the keto flu. Well, this told me I cannot do a high-fat diet. My genetic makeup doesn't understand what I'm trying to feed it when I go high-fat. But what I do need is a Mediterranean diet. So I'm here to optimize that, right? Not put ourselves in a box, but how can we transcend ourselves? And that's why I like to use human design and this DNA sequencing, because it gives me all of that. The main thing, the most important thing that this gifted me was when it came to my cardiovascular. I already kind of knew it. I had a sense that I've actually had some heart conditions when I was little. I was diagnosed with myocarditis. A lot of you know that that's been in the air, a lot of people contracting that. And what I discovered was mine was, I would go into VTAC, but it was a lot due to like emotions, right? So too much potassium, too much magnesium going crazy in my system. And what this showed me is my arteries are not made of Teflon. And so I really do need to make sure I'm taking the right supplements in order for me to protect my arteries, because I have a 70% increased chance of having a heart attack or a stroke. So that's great for me to know, right? I want to be proactive rather than just reactive because something is happening in my life. So I love these reports. It gives you a lot. If you come downstairs, you can actually see my report and toggle through it and see what it all gives you. So I invite you all to go deeper into really understanding who you really are. Thank you. The other thing, so just so you know, human design, to get your human design chart, it's free. You don't need me. You only need me if you need someone to get you to understand it. So this will take you to my website. You can actually put in your date of birth, your time of birth, and location, and it will give you a report. And I love to talk about this. I love to geek out about it. So if you get your report, come down. I will share more information with you. Okay. Yeah.
Tammy, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Okay, you guys, I know you're ready to stretch your feet, get moving. We're going to do a quick 15-minute break. We'll get back here at 3 o'clock. So go ahead, move around, get some water, enjoy yourselves for a little bit.
You're talking about here? Am I in your view? We sit down? Oh, so we sit down? Okay. Guys, is it okay to sit here? Thank you. The sun is shining on my back and I don't want to feel hot. Yes, thank you. Earlier, yes. Today, now. Okay, let's go. Real fast. Let's go. Yeah, true. I got my purse. Oh, I
Now it's gonna see. It lasted a long time. I just didn't bother doing it because it was so strong. You know?
I'm gonna hit cut on this.
Half.
They're sharing 15 still, yeah, but it's at the same time. So it's back to back 15 minutes. That works.
Oh, I had to take this to the last slideshow, and this thing looks like yeah, okay. Okay. This thing was cycling on and off. Yeah, just malfunction.
I got more of these matters for you, so I'll take the old ones and
Cool. I would just double check that because I didn't realize that was.
yeah, it's on.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, slides there. It's mine. Sure. Separate brain.
Oh no, it's just you know when you're starting that frame. This is the center.
Okay.
So I gotta put this thing
Cool. I'll start with you going first. You going first. Okay. You go first.
Yeah, we're gonna take all the secret stuff.
Oh, okay. So are they starting right away? Or is there still a break?
Oh, sure.
It'll be like fast forward. Yeah, it's good.
Sourdough race. Sourdough race.
Just do a hot swap
Yeah, get the first chair.
What are you up next? Are you trying to get a good angle? This is all in the clear here.
Okay.
I mean, it's riding shooting.
Oh, yeah.
So you know how to do this, right? Cool. So forward and back. Awesome. And then Brian. So this is the worst part. There's going to be each game. So I'll do that.
Sure. I'm gonna go first and back it up.
He loves that building.
You guys are actually speaking separate.
Yeah, we're going to split. One mic, sound, nice, check. One, mic, sound, nice, check. Two. Yeah, mic, sound, nice, check. Oh, I love you. How are you?
I recognize you too. I know I met you before.
Yes, yes, no like.
This is my wife.
Oh, you
Yes.
were my son.
Yeah. No,
Hi. Good to see you.
I was like, I know I met you.
Yeah.
So I put a new one next to there. Here's another new one.
Artist in my yard.
Yeah.
That's for you. Don't want to damage your shirt. So obviously you want to try doing it to your, this?
We could do it on a shirt.
Okay.
Oh, you know what?
You want to pinch it for me and I'll...
That's the fact.
Oh, did you get that tattoo at a wedding by chance? Okay. I have a friend that's what they did at their wedding. Before he got home.
Good to see you too.
And, why not, right? It's very cool. A lot of people who didn't get tattoos got tattooed that day. It's pretty amazing.
That's like a maze of
Ryan's going to give you back the second mic.
I know, I wanted the one part and then I...
The second mic, just so we can hear it set up. That's live. Just leave it off for now. Awesome.
Okay, that's okay. You just want to give me a thumbs up. We're going to just switch it out.
Oh, no, one. It's not going to be a double.
Hey, how are you? Oh, you look great. Good to see you. I know, it's been a while. Yeah, it's going. Good. You work at there. That's pretty great. Okay.
It might be easier, I don't know. Yeah. You want to...
I know, it's the first time I came here. Hey, let me try this. I'm going to unplug it and replug it. Yeah, that means that just disconnect it and it's still simple. Okay. Very cool. Is it possible to take it over?
Love is all we do. Love is worth the pain. Love is why we fall down and get back up again. Love is where the heart lies.
Still no?
Love is from above. Love is this. This is love. Okay, I'm ready.
I got to do one more stand by.
That's how the last battery wasn't there.
It could have been still, because I don't know his. See, but it still had power. When you hit the little play button on that, it shows like green bars.
Yeah.
Go, okay.
Go.
No, and the fact that stuff, it's been over 2 years now, and Nikki's picking up, everybody's picking up, this is picking up, everybody. But at one time, it was like flatlining for all of us. But everybody stuck together.
I think maybe
Now,
Yeah.
it's a new day.
Here we are. It's a new day.
It's a new day.
It's a new life.
You did?
Because it's still sending the signal. Like, since it's going to the TV and it's out, it isn't working.
Definitely. It's transfer.
So you're saying your dad was... It's something to do with connecting.
Yeah, Eastern approach.
Yeah, now it's down to half. Which should still be...
My story is I had babies and eventually had to wait. I went to my dad for nutrition help and he introduced me to keto and Dr. Eric Berg.
Oh, I watch a lot of Dr.
Cool. So I'm certified ketogenic coach with Dr. Eric Berg. Back in the day, like 2017.
Yeah.
When I first found out about it and healed my own body, just being my own baby. My father ended up passing away.
One of them. Yeah.
I was speaking at 3:30 and I watched the first couple presentations and I said, oh, I'm going to, oh, Steve, yes. Because what I did, I'm actually going to be interacting with my slides quite a bit.
Okay.
So I do a connection right there.
Let's do it.
And that way I can do and say, okay, now I just need to make sure my computer and slide can just speed up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do here for the next half hour.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it could be that adapter.
It could be this adapter. Oh, this one here?
Yeah. This isn't working before?
Yeah, this is a crap adapter.
Yeah.
Right.
Anything?
What about God, like, which
There's gotta be some
nutrition
nutrition.
and insulin and all of that, it can release our bodies.
Yeah.
For some reason, this is
That's what it is.
no.
Yeah,
Color bars and the fact that it's going to the TV. Something.
I have a source too. So back when I was like,
It shouldn't be an issue, but
I don't even remember, but I got really sick. And so that really kind of made me and so I started on YouTube. I started with Dr. Bird. So I started watching a bunch of his videos. I actually went a couple months after I was sick. I went to stay on a voice for a month, and it really helped heal me because everything was inflamed. I mean, I was bedridden for a month. Yeah, and no, I got mono, and I literally, but I had like a cytokine stroke. But I wasn't diagnosed with it, but that's what I believe I had. Like my liver, my spleen, my stomach, my intestines, everything was swollen. Everything was inflamed. I could not do anything about it. And so I started watching Dr. Bird and doing more research. He did this, guys, and even I had autoimmune in my family, so I started negotiating with vitamin D supplements to bring down some of that inflammation from my immune system. And I mean, yeah, so that's my story. But yeah, Dr. Eric Bird, yeah, he is the GOAT, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't hear, like, when I talk to a lot of people don't know about him. Which surprising.
So surprising.
Because he has a lot of followers, so I would expect more people to know about him. Yeah, my dad has rheumatoid arthritis, and they had studies back in the 1900s, I think it was like the 1940s or something, with megadosing vitamin D for specifically rheumatoid arthritis. And so I had him, his hands were so swollen that he could still drink. You know what it's about here? And I had him take 40,000 IUs daily for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
With K2, of course. And he's like, my hands, like I can move my hands again. I was like, yeah. It's crazy stuff, yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, Dr. Eric Bird. Yeah. No. Okay,
He's local too.
Really?
Yeah, he's out of BYU. And
Okay.
he's a professor.
Really?
Math metabolization, however, he goes into many different mechanisms of the body, right? But like his bread and butter is like
Yeah.
and he's a teacher, he's a professor, so you get that kind of language, like a professor language.
Okay. That's
You know,
cool.
as
I
they're
like that.
talking to you, like
Yeah.
how Dr. Bird does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, my brain really likes that type of structured video, so
yes,
it works well.
Diary of a CEO. Diary of a CEO, that
Yeah.
podcast, they just had Ben Dickman on.
Okay.
And each
Okay, I will.
You're into health and longevity and all of that, and you know, healing the body naturally, like you'll
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
For sure. That's like my
oh, we got it. Was it, you just had to delete it and reopen it? Weird. It's always something. It's always something, man. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you. That's great. We're
What are your thoughts on peptide therapy? Yeah, I mean, I heard the GLP-3, that's the trend that I heard that one is better. Because it's a GLP-3 agonist instead of a GLP-1 agonist. But I don't know much about it.
There's different levels, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Hunger hormones or loose fat to decrease the hunger hormones. Sorry. They have a time and place. I think if you're going to use GLP-1, there's lots of research that shows
Yeah. I don't keep that shit from fasting.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, but a lot of people, like, see, I think GLPs are for people who lack discipline. Yes.
But that person can also fast for an
Yeah.
extended
Yeah.
So it's like, which road do you want to go down, bro?
I've done 7,000 steps today.
Wow.
And I haven't even started my walks. Yeah.
What's your name?
Sean.
RJ.
Nice to meet you, RJ. Yep. You're working with Jeff?
Phil.
Phil.
I talk to myself in pace when I get ready.
There's so many names. I've met maybe 100 new people today.
It's okay, I already forgot your name.
You're good. Please. No, actually, make me feel a lot better. So, no, actually. RJ, okay. All right, I think we're going to get started. Okay, if everybody could start to get seated, we're going to get going here. We're wrapping up to 3 o'clock. We only have 4, 5, 6 more six speakers, but 4 slots. So event will be over at 4 o'clock. So yeah, let's get into it. I think we should start waiting for more people to come back because that break was needed. Let's see here. Do we have a mic set up?
Yes, we can do that now if you like. I'm gonna go. Might as well now. And I think, got it. Hold it down. I think even though you guys are splitting your time, I think I'm gonna mic you both anyway. So that I'm mic'd already. We have internal recording too.
Yes.
Getting all fancy.
There we go.
I like fancy. I like to experience that.
All right, so we're gonna keep setting up for another 2 minutes, and then we'll get into it.
Another 2 minutes.
Are we running live on the broadcast right now?
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, get crazy.
I'm gonna start screaming into the mic, see if I can something.
Let's get ready. I did that earlier on the mic. Did you hear it? Let's
Oh wait, all right. Let's do something. Everyone in here, I want us to make just a ton of noise real quick and see if we can't intrigue everyone else out there. So round of applause, laugh, scream, whatever you want to do. Ready? Wow, you guys are missing out! This is a show! Let's get ready to rumble! Seriously, that's so fun. I don't know if anyone's ever screamed into a mic before.
That was like amazing.
Felt very much like the Wolf of Wall Street there for a second. That was awesome.
Some real crowds don't even do that.
Right, yeah. All right, we will get started here. I'm going to go ahead and introduce Phil and Lauren. Coach Phil is the founder and CEO of Breakthrough Personal Training and the body composition and longevity specialist with over 20 years of experience in the fitness and wellness industry. He helps individuals and organizations move beyond the scale by using data-driven strategies to protect skeletal muscle mass, improve mobility, and slow physical aging. His work focuses on building sustainable strength, energy, and independence at every stage of life. He also has his in-body scale downstairs. That's correct?
That's correct.
If you want to go check that out and get some body compositions. And Lauren is certified ketogenic lifestyle and intermittent fasting practitioner who works at the intersection of nutrition, nervous system regulation, and human optimization. She teaches a holistic plus science-based embodied approach to biohacking that helps the body feel safe enough to heal, adapt, and thrive, transforming food from calories into communication. So please welcome them with a warm round of applause, and the stage is yours.
All right. Time to set it off. Let me figure out how to turn this thing on. There we go. Testing. Thank you. I feel important.
You do.
Yes.
And it's
really
good you are.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. How's everyone doing? Great. Yeah. All right. My name is Coach Phil McDaniels. I've been in the health and wellness industry. Wow, it's been a long time. About 24 years. That is a long time, isn't it? But I still have the excitement as if I just became certified for the first time. Because I'm now transitioning into a deeper understanding of what I do and what I teach. And that's when you get older. I didn't care when I wasn't older. And I'm talking about everybody else. Oh, look at this person, look at that person. And even though I've been working out most of my life, when I became older, things shifted and changed. So I had to come up with the understanding of how I can do better with myself for longevity, and that's what I do for my clients. I focus on those over the age of 40, 50, 60, and over half of my clientele are seniors, 65, 70, and older. Because we need a new day in fitness when it comes to the information, especially the misinformation out there. And this is my presentation today. Body composition and longevity. I am going to hit a home run on the importance of skeletal muscle mass. It's the #1 driver for everything, especially your body goals. All right, and why it matters. What is body composition? Body composition is the ratio of fat, muscle, and bone. Health is not about weight alone. Two people can look exactly the same and have different body compositions. This is the part I really want to talk about, because we judge our health by two things: the scale and the mirror. If we get on that scale and it doesn't say what we want it to say, we determine how healthy we are by a number. A scale only determines one thing: whether something is going up or whether something is going down. It has no bearing on your health whatsoever. A specialty scale maybe can lead you in the right direction, like an in-body machine, the one I use downstairs. Okay, two people can look exactly the same but have two different health outcomes. Now, same weight, completely different health. As we can see, the person on the far right, maybe your left, looks identical to the other person. But that #1 driver for whether you have the imbalance of skeletal muscle mass and body fat is muscle mass and visceral body fat. That's the hidden dangerous body fat around your organs. So these people look similar, 180 pounds, but this person has a higher amount of skeletal muscle mass, a better metabolism, more energy, more focus. And if you notice the 28 pounds of body fat there, according to the InBody and other specialty scales, that's the healthy range when it comes to ladies. 18 to 28% is the healthy range. Now, something I want to talk about that isn't talked about much in my industry is, just say, for example, both of these people think they're overweight. I'm not happy with what I'm seeing in the mirror. I'm not happy with what the scale says. And the thing that's not talked about in my industry enough is the roadmap to look the way you want to look. It's kind of like a blanket thing that goes across the world with everybody when they're talking about weight loss. And it's the same tactics and strategy. And what do most people do? Is excessive overtraining, When you lose weight, our society thinks cardio first, and we think calorie deficits. These are two of the things that's one of the most, I would say, the biggest pieces of misinformation out there. Most people don't need to be on a calorie deficit. And most people don't need extreme cardio for weight loss and fat loss. The main driver for weight loss and fat loss is skeletal muscle mass. I am here to tell everybody here, no matter what you do in life, no matter what your goals are, no matter how you want that mirror, no matter what you want to see in a mirror or the scale, protect skeletal muscle mass at all costs. This is going to be the driver from when you're 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 to tell you how long and how well you live. Skeletal muscle mass is attached to everything, even stuff they don't talk about. All right. Why muscle? Longevity. Muscle protects metabolism and insulin sensitivity, which my partner Lauren is going to take a deep dive on insulin sensitivity. It reduces fall risk, fractures, and injuries. If you guys haven't heard the data, the correlation between your quadricep muscles and longevity, it'll blow you away. The quadricep muscles are linked to longevity like you would never, ever guessed. All right. Of course, it supports independence as we age. This is the #1 thing that I talk about with every single body. The more you age, the more you need to pay attention to your skeletal muscle mass. But when we step on the scale and we're unhappy, we want to lose weight, and we use strategies and tactics to lose weight that may not be conducive to our body type and our goals and longevity. It's kind of like we all do the same blueprint. I have people that will step on the scale and want to lose weight no matter what. And everyone here knows that you can't spot reduce. So if we're using excessive amounts of cardio or HIIT, we're decreasing our calories, we're taking weight loss drugs, we're doing all the, these things don't go into your body and say, okay, we're going to leave the fat alone, and we're just going to concentrate on the body fat. It doesn't do that. It doesn't spot reduce. Weight loss is weight loss. And all of these strategies and tactics make you lose weight all over the place, and we must protect that skeletal muscle mass. You're going to hear me talk a lot about that. All right, let's get into common misconceptions. Losing weight, it means health. We already talked about that. In fact, losing muscle worsens any outcome that you're trying to get into or what you're trying to do. Losing muscle is the driver for that. Let's get into another myth. Strength training is for the young. I can't tell you guys how many times I've heard, oh no, I don't want to lift any weights, I don't want to get big and bulky. I've been hearing that for 25 years. Really? I don't want to get big and bulky. And then you get people who work out for 2 weeks, then step on the scale. I'm gaining weight, let me stop this strength training. No, it'll all level out. All right, and what's this next one? Cardio is enough. Oh man, I know some people who live by cardio. They live by cardio. And what happens? The more cardio, the more excessive cardio, the more you decrease your calories. Hence, the possibility of burning into skeletal muscle mass. We can have a person who's 100 pounds and a person who's 400 pounds. And in my experience, I can tell you that both of them, there's a high chance that they both may be under-eating, especially in certain macros, proteins and fats. All right, let's move along. Here's a quick synopsis on how to improve body composition. Every single person, from teenager all the way to 100 years old, everyone needs to do some type of strength training 2 to 3 times a week. And not the strength training we're used to or we're taught to. Body weight exercises, a couple of 5-pound dumbbells, resistance training, that's all you need. Prioritize protein and fats. This is the biggest one. The majority of old people don't get enough fats in their diet. And when you start the process of incorporating more fats and decreasing the carbohydrates in your diet, it will be a game changer for whatever goal you're trying to hit. All right, what do we have next? Rest and recovery is essential. As we all know, as we age, how sleep, recovery, rest, supplementation for relaxation, all of these things play a major role. And then we have stay active daily by walking, mobility, lifestyle, and movement. That's all it is. It's not the sophisticated thing that we're taught. It's not like that. The majority of us just need to know what type of exercise programs to do, what type of nutritional regimens that's conducive to our goals and our age. And most people would do it's like all type of workouts are put in this one bucket. I had someone come up to me and say, hey Phil, I wanted to get larger, more firm glutes, but I'm actually losing the glute that I had. Why is that? I work out every day. I work out every day. Overtraining, not eating the right amount of calories that's conducive to the muscle gain that this person was looking for. All right? And that's pretty much it for my slides. So the bottom line, I don't care what your goals are. You can be 60, 70, 80, 90, you can be a rock star athlete, anything in the world. Whatever your training regimen is, know your body composition, your body fat percentage. Go after your body goals, learning that first, and protect skeletal muscle mass at all costs. I think that's my time. All right. Let's go. All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
That was great.
Yeah.
Hello, hello, testing. Brian, you need this one too.
Can't take too much time.
Good? Oh, I think we're good.
I'm good.
Yeah. Thank you. Cheery crowd fans, thank you so much. Hello, everybody. My name is Coach Lowe. I'm a practitioner here at the Carlsbad Center, certified ketogenic lifestyle coach, focusing on many different modalities. Here to talk about biohacking with nutrition. Yeah, pressure's on. How's everyone doing today? Great! Fantastic. Good. So glad. Are we learning so many different things and ways to biohack our bodies into better health?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
We're
Pretty
biohacking
amazing
tech.
day. Huh?
We're biohacking the tech today.
Biohacking the tech. Oh, I don't even know if it's set up properly for them.
Sorry, every
Oh,
computer is
it's okay. No worries. Should have looked behind before we started.
Let's do a round of applause for our tech guys. Calling down the fort all day.
Yeah.
They're my heroes.
Keeping the show going. They keep it going. So grateful.
So we keep cheering. Or we put the pressure on.
Just keep cheering.
Does that make you more nervous?
We know you can do it. Our expectations might be high. But when we get through the bit, we're gonna see it like a slide.
Go on. Gotta know when to hold.
Know when to walk away. Yeah. Know when to run.
Let's go. And that's my talk. Thank you. It was great.
Hey, I'll pull those lyrics up if y'all want to do it. We can do it.
Wow.
I didn't do that.
I think it was Phil.
Self-responsibility is important.
Should I just go without the slides?
You might need to.
Right? Just to be on time?
We're gonna have trouble with this.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Well, I'm here to talk about biohacking with nutrition. When people hear the word biohacking, often they think of extremes, right? Cold plunges, stem cell therapies, optimization at all costs, right? But real biohacking is so much simpler than that. It's not about forcing the body to do something unnatural. It's about understanding human physiology and working with it, not against it. The most powerful signal we interact with every day is food. Every bite of food we take sends actual instructions to our hormones, our cells, and our metabolism. And the hormone that determines whether those instructions are received well or rejected is insulin. We've been taught for decades that weight gain, energy issues, and metabolic diseases are about calories. Calories in versus calories out is the old school approach, old school rule of thumb when we are talking about manipulating diet. But calories don't store fat. Calories do not control fat storage. Hormones do. Insulin is the master regulator hormone that decides whether we burn fat or store fat, whether energy is available to use at all or if it gets locked away, whether hunger quiets or increases. Insulin itself is not a bad thing. Insulin is essential, especially when we are babies and we're growing into young adults and we need insulin. We need healthy doses of insulin. But when insulin is elevated too high for too long, the system will break down. This is what I like to call insulin toxicity. Insulin toxicity is not insulin being harmful, it's just chronic insulin exposure. Too much insulin. Too frequently, for too long, and this toxicity, the insulin toxicity, doesn't come from just one source. It comes from carbohydrates, it comes from sugar, and it comes from high amounts of stress. Refined carbohydrates spike glucose rapidly. Refined sugar drives liver dysfunction and insulin resistance. We don't want to be insulin resistant. To go back to Phil really quickly, we want to be insulin sensitive. That's the terminology. We want our bodies and our cells to receive, right? So that means, and chronic stress raises blood sugar, even when we're not eating. There's a study that came out recently that chronic stress elevates insulin and blood glucose just as much as you had a meal or a high sugary drink or something. It's incredible. It has the same effect. So we have to take stress very seriously when we are approaching the journey of healing. Insulin toxicity, it's not about overeating, it's about over-signaling. So when insulin is constantly elevated, cells take the measures to protect themselves. They stop listening. They basically go like this, like too much insulin, we can't listen to you anymore. The receptors downregulate, the messages lose their meaning completely. It's not a willpower problem, it's not a motivation problem, it's a signaling disorder. This is how weight gain happens, this is how fatigue and brain fog sets in, we get hormonal imbalance, PCOS, fatty liver disease, all of those issues, chronic levels of elevated insulin. It's different diagnosis, but the same metabolic root. So what we must understand is that we cannot force fat loss. We cannot force hormonal balancing, cannot force healing. The body must be ready to receive the healing. So we need to lower the insulin. In a state of elevated insulin, The body's just not receptive. It will tell the body to store, defend resources, stay in survival mode. In that stage, fat loss is blocked, nutrients don't land. This is why when you give supplements to somebody, they take the supplements and they don't feel any different. Oh, there's something else going on. Probably need to navigate the insulin problem, clear it out, so the messages can get through and the nutrients can get received. So, any luck?
Sorry, the Chromebook's not playing.
It's not playing at all. Darn. Oh, it would be so much better with my presentation. It's okay. The human body's not broken. It is literally the most intelligent system that we know of. It's responding exactly how it's supposed to and exactly how it's designed. If insulin is high, the body stores and defends. If insulin is controlled, the body opens and receives. So this is when we get to food to biohack the body. Okay. Food is not just fuel. Food is information. It speaks to hormones, neurotransmitters, the immune system, the gut microbiome. Ultra-processed foods create biological noise. They confuse signaling, keep insulin elevated. So we really want to get rid of processed foods as much as possible and eat whole foods. The question, the biohacker question is not how many calories is this? It's what signal is this food sending to my body? So when we want to master insulin, we can do that with strategy. We want to do things like eat protein first before the rest of the meal. Nutrient sequencing is important. Protein first, then fat, then carbs is a strategy. Reduce constant snacking throughout the day. Constant snacking keeps insulin elevated. If you can go in between your meals for extended periods of time without snacking, it will give that insulin a chance to lower and then once again become receptive. Okay? Walking after meals is a great way to drop that insulin as well. You can even do some heel raises. There's lots of little things that you can do to kind of pump the insulin through your body and get it working. And calming the nervous system. We really want to practice keeping the nervous system calm. That's where that stress factor comes into play. Getting stress down, right? So that insulin can come down eventually. So insulin determines whether, again, you burn fat or store fat. Protein helps blunt the blood sugar spikes. That's why I say protein first. Protein first and then carbs. That protein is going to blunt any effect that that carbohydrate has that you have after the protein. Constant snacking keeps insulin elevated. Short walk after meals improves glucose disposal. And then stress, the nervous system is activated, insulin resistance increases, regardless of food. Don't need perfection. Perfection is not the goal here. It's just fewer spikes, right? Fewer spikes and falls and crashes. The ultimate biohack, ketones, ketosis, not a trend. This is an instinctual metabolic pathway and process. When we shift our nutrition to remove those highly palatable, highly processed foods that trigger that insulin in a really unhealthy way, processed foods that keep insulin high, something incredible happens. When insulin drops low enough, the liver produces ketones. This is a built-in metabolic process that humans have always had access to. It's not extreme, it's physiology. Ketones provide the brain and body with clarity, steady energy, calm focus. They produce more ATP than any other per unit of oxygen than glucose. So more energy. We actually get more energy when we utilize ketones than we do glucose or outside fuel. Fuel the brain without large insulin spikes. The brain prefers ketones over glucose. Thank you. We've got to wrap it up. Okay. Let's get into fasting. I'll skip over a couple of things. Fasting is another way to get insulin to to drop. Huge fan of fasting. It's not about depletion or deprivation. Short, consistent fast, lower insulin, and increased fat oxidation. This is, dabbling into that metabolic flexibility, kind of a thing that we all really should be seeking to gain. But when we try to fast on top of poor sleep, high stress, or undernourishment, it can raise cortisol and work against you. So that's why hiring a coach and having someone to go over your plan and the fasting strategy is could be really beneficial. Preparation is very important with fasting and regulation. The signal only works when the nervous system is regulated. So consistency beats intensity every time. I tell my clients there's no such thing as a bad fast. You will win every time you do a fast, whether it's 12 hours, 16 hours, 48 hours. There is no such thing as a bad fast. So start small, baby steps, work your way up. Let's see, talk about sleep, poor sleep, insulin resistance. Deep sleep, we want to get us into deep sleep. That's going to help us regulate our insulin and our metabolism and our health, or even our nervous system. Deep sleep increases fat burning. One good night of sleep improves glucose control by however much percent. It's incredible what a good night's sleep can do. I think I'm on slide 15. See, it was so nice. Thank you, Melody. Minerals, nervous system shortcuts. Nope. And this one more, I think. Nope. Oh, sure. Yeah. Sleep is so important. It is one of the #1 ways you can look at to heal your metabolism and get that insulin under control. So sleep controls insulin, hormones, and healing. Like I just said, poor sleep causes insulin resistance over time. Just it's incredible how much poor sleep can affect that. Let's see. Yeah, you can go forward. I kind of read through everything. I did some nervous system shortcuts for us to go over to drop insulin quickly. These are just fun little things that we can do here. Slow nasal breathing is a really good one, and a longer exhale.
Awesome, guys. I'm excited today to share some information I feel like it's really important in biohacking. Okay. Okay, is that on? Okay. Excellent. Today I'm excited to share some information about what I feel is something that's very important in the healing process that is sometimes and oftentimes overlooked, and that is addressing the nervous system and emotional regulation in the healing process. So I've come across patients and clients who have done everything they possibly can. They eat perfect, they get their sleep, they take all their vitamins and minerals, do the protocols, detoxes, yet they're still not moving the needle in their health. They're still stuck with digestive issues or chronic fatigue or you name it. And what it really comes down to is nervous system dysregulation and emotional dysregulation. And the belief systems, the beliefs that are running at a subconscious level preventing the body from healing. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. So understanding first the nervous system needs to be addressed. The state of the nervous system needs to be evaluated. We need to consider the emotions that are stored, the stress that is stored in the body. And thirdly, the subconscious programming that is running and affecting the physiology, providing the operational system instructions that's interfering in healing. So the nervous system, really the nervous system is the gateway to healing. And as we look at it, we see that if we're in a chronic sympathetic activation or fight or flight, then inflammation soars. And it disrupts our hormones, our gut, our microbiome, and affects our ability to recover. So bottom line, regulation needs to be addressed in order to have long-lasting results. The body keeps score. We've all probably heard this term before, the body keeps score. Well, how does it keep score? Well, our body, our fascia, our energy field stores experiences. It stores traumas, stores emotions, and beliefs. And so that is definitely something that needs to be addressed through different modalities. And there's lots of different modalities that can address it. I use emotion code and body code to address this, but there's lots of different ways that we can address this. The important thing is learning how our body, paying attention to how our body is feeling. Paying attention to how, what messages it's sending us, what sensations we're feeling, and then really trying to breathe through and process and release those things. Mind-body software, our beliefs that run on a subconscious level can really affect that healing process, right? And so if we have things running in the background like my body's broken, I'm not safe, healing is hard, then those things contribute to the inability to heal and to move forward. So we need to shift that and move through that in a way that provides new instructions for the body. So just daily safety protocols. Ultimately we want our nervous system to feel safe and to move into a state of safety. And doing some of the things that have been shared already today are really going to be helpful, such as breath work, somatic work, and essential oils, and other things like that. Melody and I, my wife and I, are launching a company of tinctures that actually address these things specifically. That will include herbals, flower essences, some essential oils, but a number of frequencies infused into the tincture to help address these kind of things. We have found it's so important, so needed. So lifestyle stuff, we've talked a lot about lifestyle today. I'm going to move through that. But optimization versus regulation, I know we all strive for that optimization. We need to also reconsider what's more important for our bodies at that time. Is it regulation or optimization, or a combination of the two? So I want to kind of go over just 3 different case studies so you have an idea of what that looks like to address somebody's issues. This week I had a 17-year-old male I met for the first time, He's been dealing with digestive issues, and has been working with a functional medicine practitioner for the last year. And his issues continue to get worse. And now he's got social anxiety being around people at school because of the digestive issues. And so his mom's like, let's take a different approach. And so we met, we worked on his digestive system. I just have a few things up here that I worked on for him. But I addressed the emotional component of the stomach, like emotions like anxiety, self-abuse, despair, helplessness, lack of control. His dad had passed away 7 years ago from, he took his life. And so what I found when I started working on him was he was not able to process that experience, that life experience, which has led to his body's inability to process the food he puts in his mouth. He gets anxiety now for just putting something in his mouth because this is going to cause me issues. So, so I worked on his stomach, his small intestines, his colon, his ileocecal valve, removed a number of different emotions and traumas. And I texted his mom yesterday afternoon, how's he doing? And she said, he hasn't had this many good days in a row since before his issues. So to me, that's just really, really, really important to remember when we're working on people, or if we're going through this ourselves, to address that emotional component. And that's just after one appointment. Next case study I wanted to share with you guys is an 18-year-old female who dealt with has OCD. And so we worked on a faulty core belief system. So a belief system within the belief code looks kind of like this. To construct that belief system, you have negative programs that are running, and then you have limiting beliefs, and then you have a faulty core belief, and then a faulty core identity. And then you address the imbalances causing that belief system that we constructed, and then you release all of that energetically, and then you put back into it instructions, new beliefs to replace the old ones that were running. And it's fascinating to look to see what kind of things showed up for her. So the belief system for the OCD was around, I'm not good enough. And it goes back to when her parents divorced, dad got remarried, and she didn't feel good enough for dad and for stepmom. And so all the beliefs that showed up were like, I can't feel what I need to know. If I set boundaries, I'll be abandoned. And so we go through and identify all of these beliefs that were created around this when she was younger and release those. And the new positive statements that we put in for her were, my healthy boundaries make me comfortable, I am open to developing trust, and I am powerful and have my own mind. So taking self-ownership, taking ownership and stepping into our power. The next case study that I'm working with a gal, 38-year-old female, food sensitivities for 10 plus years, slow motility, struggling with that, not breaking down food and digesting. So I did a belief system for her around the topic of I need to be rescued, right? So we dove into that, and we looked at the things, like the negative programs. I'm unable to be in control of my own life. I'll always be sick. It's impossible to be healthy. I sacrifice everything to maintain peace. Do you think those are healthy programs to be running? No, right? So it was fascinating. Her faulty core belief I wanted to share is, life is beyond my control and I'm completely overwhelmed. So those definitely were disrupting her ability to heal. So we put in positive statements of, good health is in my grasp now and I'm healing now. Much better programs to be running. And over the last week since we did that, she said I'm able to eat more foods and have less of a reaction to the foods I was consuming. So ultimately, our nervous system is not the obstacle, it's the gateway. And when safety is restored in the body, regulation comes back, and we're able to finally heal and have a long-lasting healing. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Walter. Appreciate it. I always find that super fascinating. I've worked personally with Walter and seen some dramatic changes in my life and my health and my emotions and how I go about relationships and even my business. So absolutely fantastic. Next up we have Dr. Colby Inzer. And let me give a quick bio about him and we get him set up. Dr. Colby started his journey into natural wellness after the door of occupational therapy closed. With massage therapy in his toolkit, Dr. Colby finished his naturopathic degree in 2012. During his externship, LBA-BAB and IV therapy was learned. He has been discovering how life choices shape our wellness ever since. So, give a warm welcome and a round of applause for Dr. Colby Inzer.
Thank you. As we're getting things set up here, there's several things that I want to say right away. Number one, everything that has been said today is absolutely true. Number two, what I'm here to show you today is actually just a way to look at what's going on in the body so that you may be able to have a starting point to get to ultimate health. Oh, good, that's done. Okay, now let's see if I can manage. And start the show. I don't do a whole lot of slides or PowerPoint in several years, so this is a learning process for all of us. Is it not viewing? Okay. Well, if I don't have the slides, that'll be just fine. I'll talk my way through it. What I'm here to talk about is actually live blood assessment. The FDA has told us we cannot call that a method of diagnosis. There are several in the area that do it, that can used it to diagnose certain things, because we're finding creepy crawlies, as I call it, or things in the blood that are affecting the body. The cool thing about the live cell appraisal or assessment, or depending on where you are and what you're doing, the cool thing about it, like I said, you're able to see the creepy crawlies running around in the body. That is a snapshot of what's going on in your body right now when we took that blood. That could change tomorrow. In fact, the blood that I was going to have us take a look at was from my body that I took on Tuesday. If I were to take a little sample of my blood right now and stick it on and put it under my microscope, it would be different. My body is different now than it was an hour ago. This gives us just a way to look at how we can change and a starting point to how we can heal and biohack our own systems. I do live and dry. I also do dry blood appraisal. That is, I also look at the dried blood that has sat for a little bit to see what conditions have accumulated in your body. Does it mean that you are diseased or diseased right now? Possibly. Can I see some allergies? Yeah, I can't tell you what you're allergic to. With the live blood, can I see evidence of infection? Absolutely. Do I know if it's bacterial or viral? I can say there's probably bacterial if you have an awful lot of neutrophils. But if I see an awful lot of eosinophils, that's more viral. Or that could be fungal. There's an awful lot of stuff in our environment, and that's what the live blood is designed to look at and give you that starting point. That is also why we can't say with definitive proof, this is a diagnostic tool. It's a tool so that we can turn and look at how we can get better. It is a good starting point to learn how to biohack ourselves. I have worked And I've done what I'm doing right now. I've done this since 2012. I know kind of how to do a good live and dried blood appraisal, and I working with people to get them healthy. How you do that, I frankly don't care. I want you to be the healthiest person you can possibly be. This is just this at live blood appraisal is a starting point, so we can learn where to go. Are there any questions for me? Since I can't say, oh, this is what I see. And I see absolutely nothing. There are examples of the live blood. Let me try that again. These are our examples of live blood analysis. Like I said, analysis, assessment. It depends on where you are and who is teaching your class. All of them are all the same. We're looking at these samples to look at how light is reflecting off the blood cells to give us better information. As I'm looking at these, I can see this right here. It's hard to see on this, but this is a neutrophil. That is a great thing to say it's attacking bacteria. What type of bacteria? I don't know. Frankly, I don't care. It's doing its job. This one is alive. You can see that. It's wonderful. There's a couple other live blood. This is a dark field. You can see, and when we say the different phases and dark and light fields, what we're looking at is light coming through the objective. It's like turning on a prism, so it's reflecting differently. So the dark field, I look at it like we're standing right here as the sun's going down at Carlfeld's Center and looking at the Boise front. That darkness that you're seeing, you can see every single nook and cranny of the Boise front. That gives you some more information, say, oh, this is what's going on with my blood. These are one of the things that are absolutely incredible, but it doesn't treat and it doesn't cure. That's what all of the other systems that you heard today will help you do. And I can pass these around if anybody wants to take a look at them. Are there any other questions? Are we? We're out of time? It's easy to get going and hard to stop. And that's true with anybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Foley. We appreciate it. Okay, everybody, we just have one more speaker, two people, me and my business partner and my aunt, Melody Watts. So we're going to get kind of set up. What I want you guys to do in the meantime is maybe stand up and get some blood flow going, move a little bit, enjoy yourself, okay? Do some twists, some Chinese medicine, breathe some essential oils. Do what you need to do.
We're going to make this the most exciting 10 minutes of your life so that we can keep you.
And maybe we'll keep you longer, who knows, you know.
Breathe it in, breathe it in.
If anyone wants to experiment,
Life happens and
Did they have
This way.
Okay.
Oh, next door, next row.
It's warm in here, so it kind of makes me cool you down a little bit.
Yeah, I know. No snow.
I'll take whatever my
son's in Texas. He goes, Mom, we've got all the food we need and we're fine. So they're having rain. Help kind of rain.
Hey, I just want to
All the way
say
up to Philadelphia.
beyond. No, we're not on.
We're trying.
A big thank you to Sean Covino. Let's give him a round of applause. He has been an exceptional speaker, introducer, and now a vendor. You're doing it all, man.
We're trying.
Oh, I love it. An educator.
We're trying, thank you.
I'm not going to take up too much time, but have you guys been having fun today? Yeah. Okay, round of applause. Who wants to do it again? Save the date. We are already planning for June 27th. So while these guys are getting this rolling up, I'll just talk. So this event, thank you, Dr. Carlfeld, for being our venue host. Round of applause, Dr. Carlfeld. And then for those of you that don't know me, my name is Nikki McGregor. I'm the founder of the GOL Network. And so these are one of many events that we put on. We did 92 events last year. So I like to say I'm a professional party planner and professional connector of amazing human beings. as the founder of this network. So if this is something that you guys love and you want to get connected, we do education, coffee, masterminds, different things. So please get connected. There's lots of QR codes. Are we ready to go? Ready to go. But thank you again. We couldn't do this without all of you guys here, our speakers, our vendors, our guests. This is what makes it magical. And bringing everybody together in the Treasure Valley to make those connections for true root cause healing.
If you guys are on Wi-Fi,
right?
maybe just, okay.
Get off the Wi-Fi. Stop hijacking the Wi-Fi, folks. We need it back.
Okay.
Are we on? Always fill in the gaps here. Okay.
All right.
I think we're good.
I think we're fine.
Say no lion.
Okay. Hit the clicker.
Oh, yes.
We'll just do it right here.
Yeah, we'll do right here.
That's fine. Okay. Testing. Is that
You
working?
guys hear us okay?
No?
How we go? We good?
Turn it on.
I just turned mine on. You guys
You're
hear me
good.
okay?
You're good.
Okay, perfect.
How about now? No? There it
Yeah,
is.
here we go. We're good.
Power. Let's go. Okay, hi, my name's Sean. You guys kind of know me a little bit, but I want to tell you a little bit about what my story is and what got me into natural health and why exactly I decided that to take this step with my life and teach people about how to live naturally. So today, our presentation is going to be on environmental toxins and how we can combat that with essential oils and the organic compounds and chemicals that are found in them. But first, let's ask some questions. Who in here, how many of you are tired of being poisoned by your environment, air, food, and water?
Anyone?
Anybody? Yeah. Good, me too. How many of you would like to level the playing field when it comes to environmental toxins?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, like it. And how many of you would like to learn how plant chemicals can hijack the environmental chemicals that we're exposed to? Absolutely. Well, today that's what we're going to do. We're going to show you exactly how to do that. But first,
simplify it.
I want to share my story. When I was 18 years old, I was in a motorcycle accident. I lost about 30% of the skin on my body, from 2-degree burns to 4th-degree burns. Just so you know, 4th degree is basically no skin left. That did happen a lot on the rear, my back, arms, legs, everywhere. 2 broken bones in my feet. And it was a big changing experience for me. I was still in school at the time, just finishing up my senior year. Well, about 3 or 4 days into my healing process in that, using nonstick bandages, things that the doctors had given me, the painkillers, all this. In fact, they didn't even want me to go to the bathroom, so they gave me extreme painkillers that would make me constipated because they didn't want the infection to spread because I was exposed on my rear. With that, so
We're getting really getting to know each other.
We're gonna really get to know each other. Yeah, absolutely. So I call up my Aunt Melody and I said, hey, listen, I am sick of this every single day, twice a day. I'm sitting in the bath for 2 hours and I'm trying to rip off these bandages that are just ripping all the fresh skin I just grew in the last 6 hours completely off. And I said, there's got to be a better way. So she comes over with a bowl of coconut oil, some frankincense, copaiba, helichrysum, and lavender, mixes it all up, puts it in a spray bottle, and says, you know what, we're going to do this a completely different way. After about 5 days, my skin not only came back to full recovery, but the scarring was little to none. Only in the places where I had 4th-degree burns were there scarring. And now, even today, after using and keeping a natural life, I've noticed that those scars continue to decline.
Show us.
He does have pictures. We'll bring
I do have pictures.
If you guys want to see pictures for the next biohacking event.
Stop by my booth too, I can show you. But yeah, that is my story, and that's what really got me into this and projected me into it. So,
You rock it, Mel.
Yes, and my story is I was into natural medicine for years, probably a decade before I had kids, but not essential oils yet. I was doing all the things, chiropractic, supplements, a lot of lifestyle stuff, until one day I had a 3-year-old with a chronic cough. And this little chronic cough would not quit. I took him to the doctor and they wanted to do what? Guess what they wanted to do? They wanted to give him allergy meds and steroids. And then I said, but what's causing his cough? And you know what they said? Oh, we don't know that. We don't know that, sorry. And I really wanted to know what was causing his cough. But until I figured that out, which was our topic today, environmental toxins. sensitivities to environmental toxins, which they inherited from me. So lucky them, they got my genes there. But we are working on reversing genetic expression through using lifestyle and essential oils, which directly turn on healthy genes. Did you guys know that? Essential oils turn on healthy genes. They turn off mutated genes. So actually go in and they work with your epigenetics, which is incredible. But what we did was we put essential oils. We used a blend called Breathe on his chest and his feet. He slept through the night for the first time in 6 months. And that's when I realized there was a missing link in alternative medicine. We were not using plant medicine the way that we could, and it had been hidden for years and years and years. And so I delved into the science and research and the biochemistry around essential oils. It's a good dang thing I didn't put him on allergy meds and chemicals, because that's the exact thing he was allergic to. So if I would have gone down that medical treadmill, the next thing probably would have been ADHD meds, followed by anxiety meds, followed by sleep aids, right? And it would have been uppers and downers his whole life. Instead of that, I have a beautiful 20-year-old that has never been on a drug in his life, right there, who does not have asthma, who does not have allergies, and we use essential oils every single day. And we're going to show you guys a very simple way to use essential oils safely and effectively.
Absolutely. So we know that there are synthetic versions of life that we can go in the Western medicine route versus the natural route. So really, what's the difference between modern approach and natural approach? Modern approach is going to target things like symptoms and how can we resolve what's coming up with the problem. It's not looking at root cause, right? Theirs is reversed, in my opinion. And so what the natural approach is, we use plants, the body's ability to produce things that's already inside of you, and to just use plant medicine to communicate to your body, hey, this is how this is supposed to work. It's not necessarily that it's going in there and being like, I'm taking over. It's much more a teacher than it is anything else, right? So we want to enhance wellness in a safe way that doesn't have side effects. So what creates disease in the body? Vaughn talked a little bit about this with the organs, right? But that comes from nutrient deficiencies, inflammation, and toxic overload.
So 95% of Americans are deficient in at least one or more vitamins and minerals. So what actually causes these nutrient deficiencies, which are essential for hormone production, for sleep, for stress? We need these to prevent disease. We need to have those nutrients. So what is actually doing it? Well, environmental toxins actually chelate essential minerals and vitamins out of your body. So just pesticides alone, just glyphosate alone downregulates 291 enzymatic processes in the body. It chelates out zinc, it chelates out magnesium, and it destroys your immune system. Of course, they say it's totally safe and effective. You could drink it, right? So what are the other environmental toxins that we're looking at? We're looking at things, food, air, water. Sean's going to cover some of those toxins, but I'm just going to give you an example of how man-made synthetics steal nutrients from the body. Chlorine steals iodine. So think about iodine is necessary for thyroid production. Glyphosate steals zinc, iron, and magnesium, totally essential for thyroid and other hormonal processes in the body. Plastic hijacks your estrogen and your vitamin D metabolism, and aluminum, again, steals magnesium and iron. Magnesium is one of the biggest deficiencies in our environment right now, or in humanity right now, and it is necessary for literally every process in the body.
So where are we being attacked from? We've seen this with multiple speakers today, that our environment is a major cause to what creates health problems in our life. We'll see it in the air. Who is an organization that basically says, hey, what's the quality of the air and how much is it doing damage to us? And we know that 99% of the world's population is exposed and exceeds the WHO guidelines for toxins that we breathe in every single day. Not only that, but there's micromolecules that make it past into our lungs and make it past that blood-brain barrier in our brain that can disrupt so many things in regards to our nervous system, our vagus nerve, the gut, all of it. Not just that, but also our water. We know that the Environmental World Group found the most water supplies have dozens of trace contaminants that can impact our health over time. Now we can get into, okay, well, what about our skin, the largest organ in our body, right? We have cosmetics, things like bath products and colognes, perfumes, those things that can affect us as well with those fragrances. Researchers tested 231 cosmetics in the US and in Canada and found that more than half contained detectable PFAS chemicals, also known as forever chemicals, even though most of them didn't list it on their labels. So we have synthetic versus natural, right? And we talked a little bit about that earlier, so I'm just going to keep moving due to time. When we talk about health optimization, most people focus on adding more supplements, more protocols. But really, biohacking starts by asking a different question. What's interfering with the body's ability to use what it already has, right? So cell receptor sites are docking points on cells that receive signals from hormones like testosterone, estrogen, cholesterol, and insulin, or neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. When the receptors are blocked, down-regulating and desensitizing, we can see things like inflammation, chronic stress, and constant signaling. The body has nutrients, but it can't respond properly. So what are we going to do? We're going to level the playing field, and here's how.
So our plants, I'm just going to jump in real quick. Plants have about 100 different chemical constituents. If I were to take a magnifying glass or a microscope out to the leaves on the bushes out there, it would show you block-chain carbon molecules that are perfectly and geometry perfectly shaped, and you would see an incredible, beautiful artistry of biochemistry. That is the biochemistry that directly hijacks environmental toxins. So you guys have probably thought essential oils are confusing, but guess what? We're going to take you through all the families of essential oils, and we're going to tell you exactly how they interact with your biochemistry so you guys can be wizards by the time you leave today on what groups do what. Does that sound fun?
Yep, absolutely. So starting with herbs, right? We have a whole bunch of them, from oregano, lavender, which is also floral, rosemary and basil. These support our immune systems, digestive systems, detox systems, and all sorts of stuff. So I'll give you the example of basil. Supporting GABA generic balance, calming stress without sedation. What that does is it targets a certain part of your brain that really allows you to, it's a stimulant. Basically, it tells your brain, hey, listen, you can calm down. You're allowed to relax, right? And so those are some great things about herbs, and then we can get into trees.
I'll just talk a little bit about rosemary too. Rosemary works with the biochemistry by enhancing estrogen metabolism and serotonin cycling. So rosemary is excellent for that. Basil has steroidal properties, so it's wonderful for the adrenals, for the corticosteroid response in the body. When we get into trees, if you look at trees, what do? They literally produce oxygen. So imagine they are good for your lungs. They're good for oxygenating your cells. They're good for the brain. They're good for the immune system. They also have steroidal properties. Frankincense, wintergreen, all have steroidal properties, and then they all increase oxygen saturation in the body, and they reduce inflammation. So they're very multifaceted.
Yeah. I like to also think about with that, right? When we communicate with people, people say like the 5 people you spend the most time with is basically what you're made up of. Well, I like to think of it as like when we use essential oils every day, we're borrowing the intelligence that they have and using it for our body, right? And then it teaches our body how to function properly.
Our body is literally made up of the same molecules that are made up of plants. So our body recognizes them immediately, not like a synthetic where it takes it and it really confuses the system.
Right, absolutely. So we look at things like vetiver, ginger, turmeric, and spikenard. Right? These things are roots that, think about how they're buried in the ground, right? They have microbial pressures that we can then take that and go, okay, look, this is how your gut should work, right? We look at all of our microbiome, all of these things, and it can communicate that properly.
Our gut and the soil are so interactive because vetiver is really anti-parasitic, so are all of these actually work with the microbes. And they've been fighting these microbes for millennia, right? These roots have been around. They know how to work against these microbes. And so if you look where the pathogen, and oftentimes the cure is right next to it. So if you look at the soil where things like parasites can be overrun, which oftentimes is just a heavy metal toxicity because parasites are meant to clean up the environment. Mold cleans up the environment as well. So if you do have an environment that is susceptible to parasites and mold, you probably have toxins that those microbes are just trying to clean up. Well, vetiver is one of those roots that can go and help clean up the digestive system, not only with the heavy metals by purifying, but it also is really good. All of these roots are good for radiation. So I always say, if you're flying, have some spikenard and vetiver on you. Put it over your thyroid, put it over your heart. You're going to feel a lot better after you get done flying. Okay, we've got one more group that we're going to go through. 2 more groups.
Yep, you have it.
Sorry, citrus.
Right there. Yeah,
Okay,
your
so
favorite
citrus.
one.
This is my favorite one because I have chemical sensitivities. This is the one for chemical sensitivities. If you think about how we're being exposed through our skin and our respiratory system, right? If you are around chemicals that you're breathing in, you can diffuse citrus oils and directly counteract those chemicals. They will bind to the chemicals in the air, just like when you cut an apple and it turns brown, but you put lemon juice on it, what does it do? It stays nice and fresh. So it actually goes in and acts as antioxidants, where synthetic fragrance puts off free radical oxidation and damages your cells and causes them to age. When you're diffusing citrus oils, you're having antioxidants in your air, you're breathing it in, you're getting into the nasal passage, works directly with the olfactory system, the limbic system in the brain. And then the thing that I love most about this one is it helps with the recycling of glutathione. There's a chemical called limonene, directly influences glutathione recycling. So citrus oils are your best friend. If you're going in an Uber, take some lemon, go like this. You don't have to smell the gross fragrance, right?
Yep, absolutely. And because I'm a primal masculine alpha male, I'm allowed to say this. I love floral essential oils. I mean, if you want to say it, go ahead and say it. Because seriously, these oils are really powerful. Just like citrus oils target the limbic system, so do floral oils. When you smell that in, it allows your body to remember emotions. It's literally emotional memory stuff. Not only that, but it releases and helps communicate to your hormones how to function properly, which is a big part of being a guy or being a woman in today's day and age when we're exposed to so many different things.
Floral oils directly suppress cortisol, stress hormones, and directly increase things like dopamine and serotonin. So florals are excellent. They're also powerful antihistamines. Nature is so multifaceted. So imagine having something that works with dopamine receptor sites, that works with the recycling of glutathione, that works with estrogen metabolism, serotonin cycling, and now you're going in and you've got an antihistamine as well. You're working with some incredible, powerful chemicals.
Right. So what have we learned, really, over this discussion? We've learned that all of the toxins and the environment that we're exposed to block receptor sites. It blocks us from communicating to our own body what we need to do. And how do we combat that? We use things like essential oils. We borrow intelligence from them, from the plants that were given to us on this earth. And this has been around for thousands of years. And we use that to help our body communicate how to function properly.
Okay, so we're gonna go in and how many of you guys are like, okay, but do I need to buy 50 essential oils today to get all the benefits? How many of you are like, I don't know if I need every single one of those oils, okay? Well, what we have done for you, and we have put together 5 of the top essential oils. They are custom blends that contain your florals, your roots, your herbs, your citrus, and your trees. And they're all designed for very specific purposes. We have digestin that's going to help with the digestive process. It actually creates chi, we call it acupuncture in a bottle, in the digestive system. It's incredible. We have MetaPower that's going to help with metabolic support. It has things like cinnamon that helps balance blood sugar and insulin. This is probably Lauren's best friend essential oil, right? It has ginger, which helps heal the gut. Peppermint, also incredible for the gut. And then it includes your citrus oils, which are going to help with metabolism as well. Then you've got your supplements. We bring in your supplements. If you want to upgrade to the bigger package, you can get an essential oil supplement that goes in hand with the essential oil that creates this. So when you have On Guard and you're using it, you're diffusing it, you're using it on the bottom of your feet, you also have On Guard Plus, which if you have a virus or you're sick or you need, maybe you don't want to take something for that massive pathogen that you're dealing with, you can take On Guard Plus. It's already encapsulated, ready to go, and you don't have to use those yucky pharmaceuticals that wipe out your gut flora. This is a big, big thing. Most people don't know this, but essential oils are selective. They do not wipe out good flora. They are selective. They have innate intelligence, and they go in and they target pathogens that are making you sick.
Absolutely.
So with this, we get some freebies.
We'll get some freebies. I don't think we've ever given away this much stuff before.
This is a lot
in
of
an event. We are really excited. With the freebies, you're going to get things with both kits, right? I think the second kit, you're getting a much better deal because one of my favorite oils, it is tree oil, is frankincense. And with that kit, you do get a free one that you can use. I call it it's known as the king of oils. And that's probably why it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's incredible for creating apoptosis and mutated cells. And that is a $100 oil. It's a 4 species. And it's a free frankincense if you get the upgraded kit. If you get the smaller kit, you still get free shipping, you still get a free book, you still get a free oil, and you get a free diffuser. So it's pretty awesome. And you have access to us as oil mentors. So you get unlimited text and email so that you actually learn how to use your oils and don't feel like you're just like, what am I going to do?
Yeah, exactly. And with that, we're also going to be raffling off an Aroma Touch kit, which has 10 oils in it that are absolutely fantastic. With this, come stop by our booth. I know we're a little short on time. We're pushing it a little bit.
Grab this QR code and apply for this Aroma Touch kit.
We have flyers as well, and we just want to say thank you all for coming to the Biohacking Vitality event. Give yourselves a round of applause. You made it through. This event wouldn't happen without you guys, with all of you coming and participating and being open to learning about things like essential oils and how you can store emotional memory.
It's
So
4:20. Go do some essential oils. Swing by our
Yeah.
booth.
Swing by our booth.
It's time for some plant medicine that heals your body. 4:20. Let's do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We should speak at convention. She has. She has a few times.
Because it's easier to get out.
Turns out like that when you mistreat it, you just have to ignore it, abuse it. It's busy, it solves everything.
That was a very interesting talk. My name is Vernon. I was up here for the last couple of weeks, getting treated for cancer. But I'm also really good at it. So I didn't get a chance to get here. Your talk was very interesting. What if I get a copy of your talk? I need to find it. I'm not actually so I need to find it. Get a card. Okay. I'm a patient. Yeah, so where y'all I interpret Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'll be down there. Pick up your card. Get my contact info and like, I'm sitting back in Texas in September. Yeah. I was there a couple years ago and they had pretty bad accident. They had one in 21, so I think it does happen pretty much pretty much every year.
Oh, okay.
So it's much worse than the snow. You can't get any traction. So anyway. Yeah. All right, very good.
Okay, so we're all done with that piece?
Carissa downstairs. Carissa, yes, she